It's time for Medford Rogues Baseball as the Rogues take on the best of the West in the Great West League. Don't miss a minute of the action. Listen to every Medford Rogues game all season long, live on MedfordRogues.com. Now, it's time for Medford Rogues Baseball. Calling all the action tonight, here's Jonathan Kerman.
Welcome, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball. I am Jonathan Kerman with you here at Nettleton Stadium in Chico, California. Your Rogues are on a bit of a win streak here, a bit of a tear, really. Won 12 of their last 14 games. They stand at 15-6, taking on the defending champion Chico Heat, who come into this game at 13-8. Rogues coming off a series sweep of the Marysville Gold Sox in Marysville. It was not easy, though, let me tell you. The first two games decided by just one run, really decided in the last few outs of each game. So glad to have all of you with us, wherever you may be, whether you're listening back at home in the Rogue Valley or around the country. Just want to say thank you for joining us here on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Tonight's starting pitcher for your Medford Rogues is Cole Percival. Cole Percival, out of Riverside, California, tall right-hander, 6'6", 195 pounds, committed to playing to UC Riverside next year. Percival, no decision in his first game as a Rogue, back at Harry and David Field. I caught up with Cole earlier to discuss what it was like growing up with a dad who, for those of you who don't know, is Troy Percival, the World Series champion with the 2002 Anaheim Angels. And I'll let him tell the story.
Here with Cole Percival. Cole, your dad is a World Series champion, pitched for the Angels in their World Series run. What was that like growing up with your dad being a famous baseball player?
I thought it was really cool. I really liked when my dad played. I loved watching him. When I was a little younger, I didn't quite know what was going on as much, but it was really awesome. I just loved having my dad play. I really liked watching him. Of course, it was not as, the downsides to that would be that he wasn't always home. So he usually had to leave on my birthday. But, I really loved watching him play, and I think that made up for him he would have to leave. But I really thought it was amazing to watch my dad play. It was one of the coolest things I think I've ever gotten to see is my dad play in the big leagues.
So was it always baseball growing up? Did your dad let you do your own thing, or did he try to rope you into baseball? What was that like?
I think I really got to he just wanted me to do what I wanted and do what I like to do. It's happened to be baseball. I don't think it was he forced me to do it. He didn't, he never really pushed it upon me too much, but I always wanted to play, whether it was hitting or pitching, which growing up, I didn't actually pitch much. I didn't really start pitching till high school. The only other sport I really played was ice hockey. But I only played that for a couple years, and then it was, we kind of found out how big I was going to be, and it was, hey, this pitching thing might work out. So I think that baseball ended up working out, and I'm really happy that it did.
What's your approach on the mound?
My approach on the mound is a little bit different than my dad's. He was a closer, and I'm a starter. So he was really 100% effort for one inning, whereas I have to pace myself a little more. But I'd say I'm pretty similar pitch-wise to my dad. I throw a fastball, curveball, and a changeup, the same three pitches that he threw. And, I mean, I am a pretty heavy fastball guy. I'll I'll run it up there pretty hard. So I like to throw my changeup. He uses curveball a little more. I like the changeup better. It works better for me. My hands are bigger, so it creates some more break. But I really like to go after him with fastballs and then really work the changeup low. It breaks low and away, so that I'll get some swing and misses on that.
All right. Thanks so much, Cole. Good luck today.
Thank you.
That was two nights starting pitcher Cole Percival, who I spoke with. Now time for the pregame injury report brought to you by Valley Immediate Care. Valley Immediate Care is a proud sponsor of our Rogues broadcast team. Valley Immediate Care has locations in both North and South Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and Brookings, offering urgent care, occupational health, physicals, laser services, and more. Head to valley-ic.com for more information. Now time for the Valley Immediate Care pregame injury report. Liam Kent still out. He is not traveling with the team, nursing some sore ribs. DJ Wilson has a sore throwing shoulder, and Jordan Reagan, we can only assume, is at home doing everything he can, nursing that sore elbow to be ready to pitch when the Rogues return back to Harry and David Field on June 26th, which is a Mystery Monday. So keep your eyes peeled on our social media. We'll be releasing that information very soon on how you can get $5 tickets to Monday night's game and a free pack of Moose Munch presented by Harry and David. Your starting lineup for the Medford Rogues. Your first place, Medford Rogues. Leading things off, Davis DeLorphis. Batting second, Jaden Hanna. Batting third, Eric Yang. In the cleanup spot, Alex Isola. Batting fifth, Connor Lowry. Batting sixth, Johnny De La Cruz. Jumped the gun there. Batting seventh is Jake Helwig. Batting eighth is Josh Berman. And rounding out the order is Scotty Wright. Your Rogues will be facing Austin Lee, pitcher for the Chico Heat. Lee, a sophomore, going to Spokane Falls Community College in Spokane, Washington. 5'9", 195-pound right-handing thrower. We're just a few minutes from getting underway here in Chico. I want to apologize to all of you if you are experiencing any technical issues on the playback. There is only so much we can do. I'm actually hooked up to the school Wi-Fi, if you can imagine that. But we do our best with what we can here. We're going to keep you updated as often as we can on Twitter. That's at Medford Rogues. And you can also follow along on Point Streak. The link to that is in our description. Chico Heat have taken the field. Here's the defensive alignments for the defending champion Chico Heat. Behind the plate, catching Austin Lee, is Jake Davison. At first, Marcus Wilhite. At second, Caleb Van Blake. At short, Joe Raymond. And in the hot corner, Brandon De La Guardia. In left, Garrett Kelly. In center, Tanner Tokunaga. And in right, Cole Lemmel. Just a few minutes from getting underway here at Nettleton Stadium here in Chico Heat. Rogues left the Heat of Marysville, California to come play the Heat in 106-degree weather. So the heat is not letting up. The temperature, the weather is not letting up. Truly is the dog days of summer here in the Great West League. Doesn't seem to bother the Rogues, though. They are on an absolute tear, winning 12 of their last 14 games. We are just about ready to get underway things here at Nettleton Stadium. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am Jonathan Kerman on the call with you tonight and the rest of this series. Brian Schnee has the week off. Davis DeLorphis steps into the batter's box to get things underway. Breeze blowing out from right to left field. Nettleton Stadium, 3:30 down the foul pole lines. 4:05 to dead center. Here's the first pitch from Lee. That is a called strike. First pitch time, 7:04 p.m. 108 degrees at first pitch here in Chico. Here's the 0-1 count to Davis DeLorphis. just outside, 1-1 the count. DeLorphis from Salt Lake City, Utah. Here's the 1-1. That one's down, ball 2. Rogues got out to a big lead last night against the Marysville Gold Sox. Jumped out 6-0 in the top of the first inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one is hit well up the middle. That is going to be a leadoff base hit for Davis DeLorphis, playing third base for your Rogues tonight. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Jaden Hanna. Jaden Hanna, the left-handed batter, excuse me.
Not real well. I played Little League and got put in right field with people who they
Batting .341 on the year.
Yeah, then high school I was on a community league.
Has 7 walks to just 6 strikeouts. First pitch to Hanna is outside, ball 1. Just getting underway here at Nettleton Stadium in Chico, California. No score, top of the first inning. DeLorphis at first led the game off with a single. Jaden Hanna at the plate. Here's the next pitch. That one is hit to right field. Ranging over is Tanner Tokunaga, who makes a diving catch to retire Jaden Hanna. Jaden Hanna tipping his cap to Tokunaga. That was a great play. So 1 down here in the top of the first inning. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Eric Yang. Eric Yang still leading the team in batting average. Joined just a few days ago. Still batting .600. Has 9 hits in 4 games, does Yang. DeLorphis still at first. Here's the pitch. Down, ball 1. Austin Lee getting the sign from catcher Jake Davison. DeLorphis taking his lead from first. Lee set, now fires over to first. DeLorphis back in time. No score, top of the first inning. DeLorphis at first. Jaden Hanna smoked a ball to left center field. Robbed of extra bases by Tanner Tokunaga on a diving catch. Austin Lee sets, comes home. That ball is hit to the first baseman, Marcus Wilhite. He steps on the bag at first, but that's all he's going to get. Davison advances on the play. DeLorphis, advances on the play. So Yang grounds out to first, but gets DeLorphis over into scoring position, and that brings up the catcher, Alex Isola. Isola batting .288 on the year, with 14 RBIs in only 15 games. A lot of strong hitters for this Rogues ball club. DeLorphis at second, 2 outs, top of the first inning, no score here at Nettleton Stadium. First pitch from Lee. That ball is hit to right center field. Coming over and making the catch is Cole Lemmel to retire the Rogues. So 1 hit, 1 left, no runs come across in the top of the first inning for the Rogues. We head to the home half of the first inning. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. The Rogues would like to thank our friends at Avista. Serving Medford since 1906, Avista has created opportunities, sparked imaginations, and fueled innovation. Today, as they celebrate more than a century of service, the folks at Avista are committed as ever to helping the communities they serve to grow and prosper. Head to avistautilities.com. Welcome back to Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to Medford Rogues Baseball on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. No score here. Starting pitcher for the Rogues, number 35 right-hander Cole Percival, standing in at 6'6". Defensive alignments for the Rogues is as follows. Catching Percival, Alex Isola. At first, Josh Berman. At second, Jaden Hanna. At short, Scotty Wright. At third base, Davis DeLorphis. In the outfield, left field is being manned by Johnny De La Cruz. In center, Connor Lowry. And in right is Jake Helwig. Leading things off for the Heat, center fielder Tanner Tokunaga, who made a terrific play in center field to rob Jaden Hanna of extra bases and potentially save a run. First pitch to Tokunaga is down in the dirt, ball 1. Tokunaga from Pearl City, Hawaii. Here's the next pitch. That ball is hit foul off the first base side into the stands. 1-1 the count. Some interesting shadows for the infielders right now at Nettleton Stadium. Basically, the entire dirt of the infield is covered in shade. The rest is in the sun. Next pitch is outside. 2-1. Could make things interesting for Scotty Wright and Jaden Hanna, who are the battery up the middle for the Rogues. Percival gets the sign from Isola into the windup and the pitch. Just high. 3-1 now to Tanner Tokunaga. Waiting on deck is the third baseman, Brandon De La Guardia. Here's the pitch from Percival. That is high and outside, ball 4. So Tokunaga earns himself a leadoff walk to start things off for the Heat. That'll bring up the third baseman, Brandon De La Guardia, out of San Jose, California. Plays for West Valley Community College. One on, no out here for the Chico Heat in the bottom of the first inning. No score, just getting underway here at Nettleton Stadium. LaGuardia shows bunt, pulls back in time, ball 1. Again, I'd like to apologize if there's any loss in quality or drop of the stream. I'm going to try and update you on the score and the game situation as often as possible to keep you guys up to date. Tokunaga takes off on the pitch. It's a strike. The throw by Isola is not in time to get Tokunaga. So a stolen base for Tanner Tokunaga. The Heat have a runner in scoring position and nobody out here in the bottom of the first. 1-1 the count to Brandon De La Guardia. Percival steps off the mound, now comes back on the rubber. Gets the sign, looks back at second, now comes home. Here's the pitch. Showing bunt again is LaGuardia, pulling back again. It's a ball, and Isola will come out and have a quick chat with Cole Percival. Thanks to Fred Meyer, the Rogues will offer specially priced family ticket packages for each Sunday home game. That's 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 fountain drinks, and 4 souvenir baseballs for just $44. And these ticket packages are only offered at the 3 local Rogue Valley Fred Meyer stores. Don't miss out on the fun. It's Fred Meyer Family Fun Sundays. We're already here, 2-1 the count. Percival steps off the mound as Tokunaga took a leap away from second. No one was covering the bag, so Tokunaga scampered back safely. Here's the 2-1 count. The pitch, that is hit well to center field. Lowry ranging over. He's going to make the catch. Should be deep enough to advance Tokunaga. Great throw by Lowry, but not in time to get Tokunaga. So LaGuardia flies out to center, moving over Tanner Tokunaga, and the Heat have a runner 90 feet from home. That'll bring up the left fielder, Garrett Kelly. Kelly from Hollister, California. Right-hander, 6 foot, 180 pounds, from UC Davis. He's a sophomore there, will be this coming fall. Runner on third for the Heat, 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Kelly. That ball is in the dirt. 1-0. Waiting on deck, Marcus Wilhite. Percival getting the sign. Now comes home. That ball is hit sharply to left field, but right at Johnny De La Cruz. Tokunaga comes home. That throw is not going to be in time. And the Heat have the first run of the game. So Tokunaga, who walked to lead off the inning, comes around to score. Walks were a big issue, a big hot-button topic in the Marysville series. Rogues received 12 free bases, whether it was walks or hit by pitch. The Rogues loaded the bases in the first inning of that game without swinging the bat. It was all on walks. Garrett Kelly gets the RBI sac fly, and that'll bring up Marcus Wilhite. First pitch to Wilhite is outside, ball 1. Rogues were up by 10 runs, 13-3, in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the next pitch from Percival. That ball is hit foul, 1-1 the count. And then the Rogues loaded the bases with Gold Sox on all walks. That brought up the left fielder Andrew Shablowski, who proceeded to hit a monster home run over the left field for a grand slam. Next pitch is outside. 2-1 the count to Marcus Wilhite. Waiting on deck, Cole Lemmel. Here's the next pitch from Percival. That ball is hit foul. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Just getting started here at Nettleton Stadium in Chico, California. The Heat strike first. A walk, a stolen base, and two sacrifices, send home Tanner Tokunaga, the starting center fielder for the Chico Heat. Next pitch to Wilhite is high and outside. That runs the count full, 3-2. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Percival takes a deep breath, shakes off Isola, now likes the call he gets. Here's the pitch. That ball's high. Second walk given up by Cole Percival, and that'll bring up Cole Lemmel.
Now batting from the University of California, right fielder number 15, Cole Lemmel.
So Cole Lemmel steps in, right-handed batter. First pitch taking off is Wilhite. He is not going to get in there. The ball sails through both Jaden Hanna and Scotty Wright. They both made a diving attempt on the throw by Isola. But the arm of Alex Isola so strong, it went right to Connor Lowry, and Wilhite didn't have a chance to go to third on the errant throw. So another runner in scoring position for the Heat. That was a ball to Cole Lemmel. 1-0 the count. And that ball's high, 2-0. Lemmel from San Diego, California. Percival steps off the bag, looks back at Marcus Wilhite. Lemmel steps back into the batter's box, awaiting the pitch. Here it is from Percival. Swung on foul back. 2-1 the count. On deck for the Heat, designated hitter Jack Rodeville. Again, we'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties here at Nettleton Stadium. We're doing just the best we can with what we have. Percival steps off the rubber, looking back at Marcus Wilhite. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Wilhite at second. Cole Lemmel at the dish. 1-0 Heat. Here's the pitch. That ball's high. 3-1 now to Cole Lemmel. Three balls and 1 strike to Cole Lemmel. Runner on second. Here's the pitch. That's outside for ball 4. So 2 on now. 2 out in the bottom of the first inning. That brings up Jack Rodeville. And Christian Coronado is going to go out and have a conversation with Cole Percival. Morton's Family Dining and Bar offers something for everyone. Morton's has a full sports bar, a separate family dining side of the restaurant, and even delivery. Check out their website, mortons.com. That's Morton's with 2 R's. So Marcus Wilhite at second, Cole Lemmel at first. 1-0 Chico in the bottom of the first inning, and they haven't gotten a hit in this game. Tanner Tokunaga led things off for the Heat with a walk. He would then steal second base, advance to third on the ground out by Brandon De La Guardia, and then Garrett Kelly with the sacrifice fly to bring him home. That's the ball game so far. Marcus Wilhite walked, and now Cole Lemmel walked. That'll bring up Jack Rodeville, the designated hitter. Here's the first pitch from Percival. High, ball 1. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. And now Alex Isola is going to come out and have a conversation with Percival, probably about switching up their signs so they don't tip them off to the Heat. Rodeville, out of Roseville, California, will be attending Folsom Lake College in the fall. 6'1", 190-pound right-hander. Here's the pitch from Percival. Outside, ball 2. Isola tries to backpick Cole Lemmel. He is in safely. Close play down at first base. Alex Isola does a terrific job watching the runners. Always a threat to backpick the runners at the corners. 2-0 the count to Jack Rodeville. Percival steps off the mound. Runners will retreat back to their bases. We'll do this again. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Heat. Here's the pitch from Percival. That ball is hit softly to the third baseman, charging and making the play. DeLorfis over to Berman in time. That was not an easy play by Davis DeLorfis. Short hopped that ball, charging, coming in from third. Retires Jack Rodeville. The Heat strand 2, but they do get one across on the leadoff single by Tanner Tokunaga. We head to the top of the second inning. You are listening to Medford Rogues Baseball on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. 1-0 Heat. We head to the top of the second inning right after this.
We're back on the road with the Rogues.
You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call with you this evening. Top of the second inning. Your Rogues are down 1-0. The Heat don't have a hit in this ball game, but they have a run across. Stepping in now is Connor Lowry, the center fielder and the RBI leader of the Great West League. Here's the first pitch to Lowry. That is a called strike. 0-1. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's all coming through cleanly on your end. Next pitch to Lowry is outside. 1-1 the count. My streaming service keeps telling me that there are frames being dropped, but as long as things are good on your end, that's all that matters. 1-1 the count to Connor Lowry. Outside. 2-1.
And they gave me the one for the pickles. So, but don't make a special trip up. But next time you head back up here. Thanks.
Waiting on deck, Johnny De La Cruz. Next pitch, swung on and missed by Connor Lowry. 2-2 now.
Pickles on the sticks over here, and then they were followed by the Potters, and I was wondering what they were going to pass out then.
2-2 the count. No out top of the second inning here in Nettleton. Pitch swung on and missed in the dirt. Picked up by the catcher Davison, fires over to first to retire Connor Lowry for the first out of the second inning. That'll bring up Johnny De La Cruz.
Now batting for Medford, left fielder number 2, Johnny De La Cruz.
Davison going out having a quick conversation with Austin Lee. De La Cruz batting .279 coming into this one. Has 17 hits in 17 games, 11 RBIs, 18 walks to just 9 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That ball is hit softly to the third baseman, De La Guardia. He picks it up. Oh, my goodness. Tried to pick it up. I'm not sure if that ball was going to roll fair. LaGuardia charging the ball. It looked like it was rolling foul, but LaGuardia touched it while in fair ground. It's going to go as a single for Johnny De La Cruz. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Jake Helwig. Helwig, a staple out there in right field, batting .313 with 26 hits in only 20 games. I mean, the Rogues are just stacked up and down the batting order. Here's the first pitch to Helwig. Just outside, ball 1. De La Cruz at first, waiting on deck, Josh Berman. Helwig steps back into the batter's box, the left-handed batter. Austin Lee gets the sign. Now comes home. Ball on the outside corner for a strike. Evens the count at 1 apiece. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out here. Throw over to first, not in time. De La Cruz back. And the first baseman, Marcus Wilhite, rolled the ball over to Austin Lee. That was interesting. We're all set here. Jake Helwig at the dish. Here's the pitch from Lee. That ball is hit to the right side of the field. That's going to get through for a hit. Johnny De La Cruz is off and running to third. He's going to get there safely. Head first slide, but no throw. So Jake Helwig with yet another hit. Moves De La Cruz over to third. Runners at the corners for the Rogues, only 1 out. And stepping up to the plate is Josh Berman, who had a monstrous home run in last night's game in Marysville. His first time up, his first pitch that he saw of the game, he pinch hit in the 5th inning. Saw the first pitch and sent it over the left field wall at Calusa Casino Stadium. His next time up, hit a shot to dead center field that was maybe a foot from getting out of here. Hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, narrowly missed a home run, instead settled for the double. Lee set his first pitch to Berman. That is hit sharply foul off the third base side. De La Cruz at third, Jake Helwig at first, 1 out in the the top of the 2nd inning. You are listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Berman waiting for Lee. Lee gets sets. Now comes home. That ball is just on the outside corner. Catches the plate. 0-2 to Berman. Waiting on deck, the 9-hitter playing shortstop for your Rogues, Scotty Wright.
How far can you go to get Ted Cruz back without losing all the people closer to the middle? You know, who are sitting there saying, well,
Chico Heat on top, 1-0 here, just getting underway, top of the 2nd inning. 0-2 the count to Josh Berman. Here's the pitch. That ball's outside, 1-2.
Affordable Care Act was the same thing. At the end, if they changed the comma, they would have lost it. On the Affordable
De La Cruz singled. It was a slow roller on the third base side that might have gone foul, but the third baseman, Brandon De La Guardia, tried to make a play on it. Could not, and that got De La Cruz aboard. Here's the pitch. That ball's high, runs it even 2-2. Jake Helwig would then hit a ground ball through the right side of the infield. I think the only reason that the first baseman, Marcus Wilhite, couldn't make a play on that ball is because he was holding De La Cruz at first. Here's the pitch to Berman. Off speed, just high, and that runs the count full. So great job by Berman, working back from an 0-2 count. Runs it full. Runners at the corners for the Rogues. Waiting on deck, Scotty Wright. Here's the pitch from Austin Lee. That ball's hit foul off the first base side, and we will do this again. Hear the train coming by just outside the outfield fence. I'm sure Berman would love to hit one into one of the boxcars. Play is going to resume even though the train is running by. Here's the pitch from Lee. That ball is hit high into left center field, excuse me. Coming over is Tokunaga to make the catch. Coming home is De La Cruz. He's going to score. Heading to second is Jake Helwig. He tagged and made it in safely at second. Heads up play by Jake Helwig to advance on the play. De La Cruz comes home, and we have a tied ball game here at Nettleton Stadium, one apiece. Another RBI for Josh Berman. That'll bring up Scotty Wright. Wright batting .231 on the year, appearing in 13 games. Has 8 walks to just 6 strikeouts. Not a lot of big strikeout guys on the team. Here's the pitch. That ball is just high. 1-0 the count. Helwig at second. Advancing on the sac fly by Josh Berman. 1-1 here in the top of the second inning. Austin Lee getting the sign from Davison. Now comes home. Swung on and missed. Strike one. Gets second. Helwig at second. Scotty Wright at the plate. 2 outs here, top of the second inning. Here's the pitch. Low and in. Ball 1. DeLorphis, who started the game off with a single back in the first inning, is on deck. 2-1 the count to Scotty Wright. Lee looks back at second, looks back again, now comes home. That ball is outside and low. 3-1 now. Your Rogues coming into this game 15-6 atop the Great West League. The Chico Heat coming into tonight at 13-8. They're in second place. Here's the pitch to Wright. That is outside, ball 4. So Scotty Wright earns himself a walk. First and second with 2 out, and that'll bring up Davis DeLorphis.
18, Davis DeLorphis.
DeLorphis batting .323 on the year. Has 2 home runs, 15 RBIs, and 20 hits in 17 appearances. Right-handed batter steps in. Ready to do this. 2 on, 2 out here. First pitch swinging for DeLorphis right at the third baseman, LaGuardia, who steps on the bag for the force. That'll do it for the Rogues, but 1 run does come across. Johnny De La Cruz led off, well, didn't lead off the inning, but got aboard, would come around to score on the RBI sac fly from Josh Berman. We head to the home half of the second inning, all tied here in Nettleton. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts.
And Carrie M. Madison.
The Rogues would like to thank our sponsor, Rogue Regency Inn & Suites. Rogue Regency Inn & Suites is the official host hotel of the Medford Rogues. Whether you're in Southern Oregon for a quick stay or a longer visit, Rogue Regency has a warm, casually elegant atmosphere with plenty to offer, including Chadwick's, the official sports bar of the Medford Rogues. Make sure you head to the post-game party headquarters, Chadwick's Pub and Sports Bar at the Rogue Regency Inn and Suites. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. All tied here, bottom of the second inning, 1-1. Stepping in for the Heat is the second baseman, Caleb Van Blake. Van Blake is the left-handed batter. From Benicia, California. First pitch to Blake is outside, ball 1. The Heat scored 1 in the first without recording a hit. Tokunaga walked and would eventually come around to score on a sac fly. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit foul. 1-1 the count. The Rogues have 3 hits through 2 innings. Here's the pitch from Percival. Just high. Looked good, but called high by the home plate umpire. 2-1 now to Caleb Van Blake. Waiting on deck, Jake Davison. And then rounding out the order for the Heat is Joe Raymond. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit high, and that is going to go foul back
That foul ball is brought to you
just by the press box here in Nettleton.
Blackjack in Chico.
Evens the count at 2 apiece. It's a beautiful ballpark here at Chico. 10-foot high walls all the way around. Here's the pitch to Van Blake. Swung on, that is hit high off the third base side. Coming over is Delorfus, but not going to make a play. It's on the netting on top of the Rogues dugout. Rogues wearing their green tops with gray pants. Chico Heat in their pinstripes with blue sleeves and blue lettering. Count is still 2-2 to Caleb Van Blake in the bottom of the second inning. 1-1 the score. Here's the pitch from Percival. High. Runs the count full. Here's the next pitch from Percival. The full count swung on, hit to the left side of the field. Delorfus coming back. Coming on is De La Cruz. He will make the play. And that's 1 out in the bottom of the second inning for the Heat. So that'll bring up the catcher, Jake Davison. Davison from Taylorsville, Utah, a junior at Dixie State College. Right-handed batter, 5'9", 180 pounds. Percival winds, deals, off speed that is high, ball 1. Davison batting .257 on the year in 17 games. Here's the 1-0 from Percival. Fastball. Just got a piece of it, did Davison, fouled it back. 1-1 the count. Davison steps back in. Percival getting the sign from Alex Isola, goes into his windup. Here's the pitch. Off speed that is just high, 2-1. Isola giving a quick look back at the catcher, asking, where did that miss? 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning, 1-1 here in Nettleton. Your Rogues facing the defending champion Chico Heat. Here's the pitch from Percival, fastball down, 3-1 to the catcher Jake Davison. Waiting on deck, the shortstop Joe Raymond. Davison stepping back into the batter's box. Percival likes the sign from Isola. Here it is. Inside, ball 4. So another walk given up by Cole Percival. Heat have 1 on with 1 out. That'll bring up Joe Raymond.
Shortstop from Dixie State, number 7, Joe Raymond.
Joe Raymond, right-handed batter from Forest Hill, California, attending Dixie State. First pitch, actually a toss over to first base. Nothing doing. Davison back in time. Josh Berman holding on Davison at first, who walked. Joe Raymond at the plate. Here's the first pitch from Percival. Just high, ball 1.
Well, they usually have at least 3 umpires.
Joe Raymond yet to get a hit as a Chico Heat. Percival steps off the rubber. Davison retreats back to first. Still some interesting infield shadows here in Nettleton. Here's the pitch from Percival. That one is in there for a strike. Caught the bottom right corner of the plate. Evens the count at 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Your score is 1-1. Percival sets, fires. Same spot. Called strike. 1-2 now. To Joe Raymond. Waiting on deck, Tanner Tokunaga, who walked and scored back in the 1st inning. Jake Davison at first, he walked with 1 out. Still 1 out here in the 1st. Percival fires over to first. Davison back sliding. A mild 108 degrees here in Chico, California. Here's the pitch. Percival swung on and missed. Is Davison on the off-speed pitch by Cole Percival. That was a great pitch. Raymond couldn't lay off. He is the first strikeout victim, still looking for his first hit as a Heat. He'll have to wait till next time. That'll bring up Tanner Tokunaga. Walked back in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch by Percival. Just low, ball 1. In the top of the 1st inning, Tokunaga made a terrific diving play ranging to his left in center field. A diving catch to rob Jaden Hanna of extra bases and possibly an RBI. Next pitch, swung on and missed by Tokunaga. Count is even at 1-1. 2 outs, bottom of the 2nd inning, 1-1. The score. Thank all of you for joining us here on MedfordRogues.com. Percival fires over to first. Davison back standing this time. See that there are 30 of you watching. Hop on the chat. Join the conversation. Let us know where you're watching from. Here's the pitch from Percival. Swung on, hit up the middle, bounces up the pitcher's mound and threw into center field. So Tokunaga is aboard for the 2nd time today. Runners at first and second for the Heat. But 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd. That'll bring up Brandon De La Guardia.
Now batting for the Heat, third baseman, number 11, Brandon De La Guardia.
De La Guardia batting .280 on the year. Has 8 RBIs, 10 walks to just 4 strikeouts, 14 hits in 14 games. Here's the pitch from Percival. That ball is hit sharply through the right side of the field. Tokunaga is getting the stop sign from the third base coach with Jake Helwig and that cannon out there in right. So the bases are loaded for the Heat for their right-handed 3 batter, Garrett Kelly.
Number 14, Garrett Kelly.
So a walk and back-to-back singles loads things up for the Heat. And that brings up Garrett Kelly, who is batting .556. In his short time with the Heat, appeared in only 3 games so far, but has a home run and 2 RBIs. Looking for more here. Percival looking to get out of the inning. Here's the first pitch. Called strike. Isola trying to back off or back pick Davison at third. Almost got him. Davison tried to get back standing. Just barely did. Ruled safe by the field ump. Man, Alex Isola, so aware of where the runners are on the base paths. Always looking to pick them off. 0-1 the count to Garrett Kelly. Bases are juiced here in the bottom of the 2nd, 1-1. is the score. Here's the pitch from Percival. Check swing, didn't go around. Evens the count at 1 apiece. Thank you, James and Richard, for joining us. Regular viewers here on the broadcast, always glad to have you with us. 1-1 the count to Garrett Kelly. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit sharply. That is going off the glove of Davis DeLorfis. That's going to score at least 1. Tokunaga scores. In to score is Davison as well. So 2 come home in the bottom of the second inning, for the Heat. 3 consecutive singles and a walk. Garrett Kelly has 2 more RBIs on the young season.
First baseman number 5, Marcus Wilhite.
And that'll bring up Marcus Wilhite, the left-handed batter who walked and stole a base back in the first inning. 3-1 the score now. Percival steps off the rubber. Brandon De La Guardia at second. Garrett Kelly, who just knocked in 2, is at first. Percival looks back, steps off the mound. Retreating is De La Guardia. Bottom of the second inning. 3-1 Heat on top. Here's the first pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Wilhite batting just .211 on the year, appearing in 21 games. It's all the games for the Heat. Scotty Wright went over to second to try to backpick. Percival shook him off. Next pitch to Wilhite is low. 2 balls, no strikes the count. 2 out, 2 on here in the bottom of the second inning. 2 already across for the Heat. 3-1 there on top. Waiting on deck, should Wilhite get aboard, is the right fielder Cole Lemmel. Percival looks back, now comes home. Swung on, hit high, but not very far. Coming over into left field, it's going to be De La Cruz in the shadows, making the catch to end the inning. But 2 come across on an RBI single by Garrett Kelly. We head to the top half of the third inning. Your Rogues trailing 3-1 here at Nettleton. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Most do-it-yourselfers know that if you do it yourself, you get more for your money. At No Frills Flooring, get the absolute best prices on carpet, vinyl, hardwood, laminate, natural stone, porcelain tile, and granite slabs for countertops. No Frills Flooring is a wholesale supplier of floor covering materials targeted to serving the construction industry and do-it-yourselfers. With a large selection of the most desired products available at the lowest prices, they want to help you with your project. Stop in to one of their stores located on Ross Anley Drive in Medford or East Street in Grants Pass, or visit NoFrillsFlooring.com. When No Frills says more floors, they mean it. We're back at Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream, top of the third inning, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Rogues are trailing 3-1. First pitch to Jaden Hanna in there for a strike, 0-1. Next pitch to Hanna is down and in, ball 1. Heat got 1 in the first. Rogues answered with 1 in the second. But then Chico got their first hits of the game It was a walk and then 3 consecutive singles, which brought home 2. That's the ball game so far. Each team with 3 hits. Here's the 1-1 count to Hannah. Swung on and missed. A big swing by Hannah. 1 and 2. Here's the pitch from Lee. Swung on and hit well. That's going to be just over the second baseman, Caleb Van Blake's head, and Jaden Hanna is aboard. So Jaden Hanna hitting the ball well. Back in the first inning, smoked a ball to right center field. Robbed of extra bases and an RBI on a diving play by Tanner Tokunaga. Hanna tipping his hat as he exited the field heading back to the dugout. This time gets aboard, and that'll bring up Eric Yang. Leadoff man aboard for the Rogues. Here's the pitch to Yangs. First pitch swinging. Taking off is Jaden Hanna, and the catcher, Jake Davison, threw to second, but nobody was there. Both the shortstop, Joe Raymond, and the second baseman, Caleb Blake, weren't at the bag when Davison threw that ball. It looks like it's going to be called a foul ball. Jaden Hanna heading back to first. Interesting. So 0-1 the count, it must be. Hanna is still at first. Yang at the dish. No, excuse me. They called batter's interference on that play. So Eric Yang is down on interference. Stepping in now is Alex Isola. Hanna back at first. 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Second pitch to Alex Isola, who is now at the plate, is in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. 1-1 the count, excuse me. So Eric Yang called for interference on the attempted throw down to second by Davison. Next pitch is fouled back by Isola. 1-2 now, with 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Jaden Hanna led the inning off with a single. He's still at first, being held on by Marcus Wilhite. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit well to right center field. Going over and making the catch on the run is Tokunaga. Man, they have quite a ball player in Tokunaga out there in center field. Isola gave it a charge, but it stays in play. That'll bring up Connor Lowry, who struck out in the second inning. Speaking of ball players in center field, Connor Lowry, the main center fielder for the Rogues, leading the Great West League in RBIs with 24. Here's the pitch to Lowry. That ball is hit back to the pitcher, Lee. Lee underhands it to Wilhite to retire Lowry for the final out of the inning. Leadoff man Hanna gets aboard, but they leave him stranded. Rogues are still down 3-1. We head to the bottom of the third inning here at Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts.
back on the road with the Rogues. Take the Rogues with you by following along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Your Rogues are down 3-1 here at Nettleton Stadium against the defending champion Chico Heat. Leading things off in the inning for the Heat is right fielder Cole Lemmel. Lemmel takes a first pitch off speed in there for a strike. Great pitch by Cole Percival. 0-1 the count. Lemmel walked back in the first inning. Wouldn't get farther than first base. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and hit well. That's going to be up the middle for a hit. Ducking out of the way was Percival. Natural reactions and self-defense. And Lemmel is aboard for the second time today. So that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jake Rodeville, who grounded out to end the first inning. Rodeville hitting a robust .315 for the Heat in 18 games. Has 23 hits and 18 RBIs. Here's the first pitch. Nope, Percival fires over to first. Berman holding on Lemmel, who is back in time, sliding. Rodeville, the right-handed batter, steps in. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit well to center field. Coming on, routine fly ball for Connor Lowry, making the catch. Retreating back to first is Cole Lemmel, and that's the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up the second baseman, Cole Van Blake.
Next up for Chico, second baseman number 6, Caleb Van Blake.
Caleb Van Blake, excuse me, I apologize. Cole Percival is on the mound for your Rogues. Van Blake hitting .313 in only 4 games so far with the Heat, but has 6 RBIs in those 4 games, including a double and a triple. So he's a dangerous hitter. Left-handed batter. And that first pitch down and in nearly hits him. Great block by Alex Isola, keeping that one in front of him. 1-0 the count. 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. Cole Lemmel at first for the Heat. Here at Nettleton Stadium. Percival fires back over to first. Lemmel back in time. Being held on by Josh Berman. Pretty great turnout here at Nettleton Stadium for this game. Here's the pitch by Percival. Down, it gets away from Isola. Isola fires it over to second. Running on the play was Lemmel. Throw is not going to be in time. So another stolen base for the Heat. Now they have a runner in scoring position with only 1 out. 2-0 the count to Caleb Van Blake. Percival getting the sign. Looks back at second. Now comes home. That ball is hit sharply. That's going to be through the right side of the field. Giving up the stop sign was the third base coach. Lemmel almost ran through it, decided against it. Again, the arm of Jake Helwig. The word is out on Jake Helwig after that terrific throwing play in that Marysville series to get the tying runner at home. Runners at the corners for the Heat. 1 out still. That brings up Jake Davison. Davison walked and scored in the second inning. Davison batting .257 coming into this one. Here's the pitch. Nope. Percival steps off the rubber, checks both runners, nothing doing. 1 out, bottom of the third inning. Rogues trailing 3-1 against the Heat. Runners take their leads. Here's the pitch from Percival. That ball is hit to the third baseman, DeLorfis. DeLorfis over to second in time. Over to first in time to get Jake Davison. What a terrific play by Davis DeLorfis. Throwing it over to Scotty Wright covering second base, who then fired it over to first in time. So the 5-6-3 double play, for the Rogues ends the inning, ends the threat we head to the top of the 4th inning. Your Rogues are trailing 3-1 here at Nettleton. We'll be back right after this.
Roundtable Pizza with locations in Chico.
Rogues fans, it's easier than ever to get your tickets to check out the Medford Rogues this summer. Visit medfordrogues.com and click the Tickets tab to pick your seats for the next night out at Harry and David Field.
Welcome back to Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We're in the top of the 4th inning, and I have a very special guest with me. Jamie Flynn is in the press box with us today. How's it going, Jamie?
Hi, John. Thanks for having me on. I'm very appreciative of you and the Medford Rogues for bringing me up in the booth.
It's air conditioned here in the press box. Down on the field, though, Johnny De La Cruz looks at a 1-1 strike that catches the outside part of the plate. 1-2 the count. 3-1 ball game here. Top of the 4th inning. Next pitch, De La Cruz outside runs the count even. 2-2. So, Flynn, you pitched back in the Marysville game.
Correct.
Temperature was about the same, 107 over there, 108 here. Next pitch to De La Cruz fouled. We'll do this again. What is it like pitching in triple-degree weather?
Well, you know, especially for my start personally, it's really hard to run the count up past 20 pitches in the early innings because you're out there working hard in triple digits, as you mentioned.
Next pitch, De La Cruz fouled back.
And working in triple digits early when the sun's still up. It's down right now, which is nice, obviously, for both pitchers here tonight. But when it's up and it's cranking up, you know, close to 110 degrees, it's always super tough on the body.
2-2 pitch is hit to the shortstop, Joe Raymond. Raymond fires it over to first. Great play by the first baseman, Will Hyatt. Had to stretch to make that catch, but does to get De La Cruz for the first out of the 4th inning.
And that would have been big for the Rogues for De La Cruz to have gotten on due to a tough stretch over there at first, but he does a great job. The Rogues needing a base runner here and needing a punch back. That's what's being said in the dugout for the Rogues, is to really punch back after that 2-run inning they scored in the bottom half of the 2nd.
Stepping in, Jake Hellwig, the left-handed batter, already has a single in this one. That ball is behind Hellwig. Hellwig had to lean in towards the plate to avoid that one. 1-0 the count, 1 out in the top of the 4th. Jake steps back in. Lee on the mound for the Heat. Next pitch is outside, 2-0.
And where you don't see it really affect is maybe in the early innings with the pitcher because they got their juices flowing and things are going. But what it affects is maybe being able to extend longer into a game and go 6-7 innings is just what you want out of your starter typically.
Here's the next pitch to Hellwig. That one catches the outside part of the plate. 2-1 the count. 1 out here. Top of the 4th inning. Rogues are trailing 3-1. Nobody on. Hellwig waits for the pitch. Here it is. That ball catches the outside part of the plate. Running it even, 2-2. Waiting on deck, Josh Berman.
And it looks like that umpire's been calling a pretty even zone both ways, and a couple of pitches, maybe a ball or so out off the plate have been called strikes.
Next pitch is fouled back by Jake Hellwig. And, you know, that's really all you can ask for from a home plate umpire is just call a consistent game. If it's a ball in the top of the inning, it's a ball in the bottom of the inning. If it's a ball in the 1st inning, it's a ball in the 9th. And that's all you can ask for as both a hitter and a pitcher. 2-2.
John.
Thanks. 2-2 to Helwig. That ball is swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Helwig down, swinging. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Josh Berman, who hit a monster home run back in Marysville. It was the first pitch that he saw of the game. Came in to pinch hit in the fifth inning. And the first pitch that he saw shot it over the left field wall. Next time up in that game, hit a ball to the deepest part of the field, 425 at Calusa Casino Stadium with those 20, 25-foot high walls, and was about a foot away from his second home run. Here's the first pitch to Berman tonight. He swings on that one and misses 0-1.
And one of the things most of the Rogues players in the dugout can tell you about Josh Berman is he's a free swinger. No matter what the count is, he's always looking to connect with the middle of the bat to the middle of the baseball and drive a ball somewhere, preferably in one of the gaps.
0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit softly to the shortstop. Charging is Joe Raymond. Raymond picks it up over to first in time to get Berman. Couple great plays by the Heat infield. Keep the Rogues off the base paths. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Your Rogues are still trailing 3-1 here at Nettleton Stadium. Thanks so much to Jamie Flynn being on the call with me for these few innings. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts.
At People's Bank, we know that banking doesn't have to be complicated. Good banking happens when we put people first. Here at People's Bank, we're for the people with big dreams. We're here for families working on creating a better life for their children. We're for businesses investing locally to create a better community we're proud to call home. This is Ken Troutman, president of People's Bank. When we put people first, families grow stronger, businesses thrive, and our community flourishes. People's Bank, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Jamie Flynn with me is here on the call. Bottom of the fourth inning, your Rogues are trailing 3-1 at Nettleton Stadium. Stepping in for the Heat is the shortstop, Joe Raymond. First pitch to Raymond is down, ball one.
And you know, as far as Percival's concerned with that low pitch, is he was so high early in the game with a lot of his pitches that it's hard to establish that strike zone and the umpire to call those pitches strikes consistently when you're not down there.
Next pitch swinging by Raymond, that is fouled off the first base side into the stands. Have a few fans back at home saying hi to you, Jamie.
Shout out to all the fans saying hello, that's for sure. Go Rogues.
Always great to have you at home with us. 1-1 the count to Joe Raymond. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit up the middle softly. Hannah is there, makes the play, fires over to first in time to retire Raymond for the first out of the fourth inning. That'll turn things over for the Heat.
You know, it seemed like right there, I thought for a second that ball was going to be soft enough to maybe be a base hit, but Hannah did a good job of getting to it, and it didn't seem like the shortstop for the Heat was very quick out of the box, and Jaden's throw beat him by a mile.
Stepping in is Tanner Tokunaga, who has scored twice in this game, right-handed batter. First pitch to him is a ball. Tanner Tokunaga in the top of the first inning, robbing Jaden Hanna of extra bases. Full-on dive laid out in an all-out sprint in center field. Next pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, evens the count at 1 apiece.
You know, that was one of the best plays I've seen, John, since I've been out here with the Rogues this summer. Jaden definitely frustrated, but it gave a little tip of the cap, respected that great catch in center.
Next pitch called a strike, 1-2. And you know, there's nothing you can do. I mean, Hayden put a charge into that ball. Jaden put a charge into that ball, but just a terrific play by Tokunaga out there in center. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Hit foul off the first base side over the bleachers off the left field side. Right family, thank you for joining us from Vero Beach, Florida.
Awesome. Love to hear all the Rogue supporters all over the country. We got boys from all over the country.
Here's the next pitch from Percival. Off speed is high, runs the count even 2-2.
I'll tell you what, talking about that center fielder and that catch, we've been blessed to play in some big open outfields and let our guys kind of roam, and they have the speed and the ability to do that.
2-2 the count to Tokunaga. The pitch is just high. Running the count full, 3-2. Again, you're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com. Here's the pitch. Full count to Tokunaga. That is high and outside, ball 4. So Tokunaga walks for the second time today. That'll bring up Brandon De La Guardia, who flied out in the first and singled in the second.
And now, John, I haven't been up here long enough, but I think that Tokunaga at first was one of our base stealers, one of the Heat's base stealers off Percival, and one of the things coaches have been saying to Cole in the dugout is that he needs to vary his looks, his timing, and his leg lift to make sure that the Heat don't get another stolen base off of him.
First pitch from Percival outside, ball 1. You know, this is really fantastic, Flynn. I really appreciate the insight into the Rogues dugout, because I'm up here 3 stories up, a couple hundred feet away. I obviously can't hear what's going on, what's being said down there. So it's really great having you here on the call with us.
No doubt, and that's a really good pickoff from Cole right there, and almost got the runner at first. He looked like he was jumping, John, but that's definitely something that I think the fans want to hear as well on any broadcast, is kind of get to know the players and what's going on with the coaching staff. You know, they know their individual players. We have a lot of families and people that are, know the players really well while they're, listening to the broadcast. But
Tokunaga takes off on the pitch. He's going to get in there standing. Tokunaga had a great jump. That's his second stolen base of the day. Hogan coming out having a quick conversation with the home plate umpire. You'll remember back in the second inning, Eric Yang was called out, or the third inning rather, Eric Yang was called out on interference on a stolen play attempt by Jaden Hanna. I think Hogan is arguing, why wasn't that interference?
John, I think that's exactly what he's arguing. And based on what Yang said coming back into the dugout, Yang was alluding to the fact that the catcher was the one that made the call on that particular play. And what happened is the catcher said verbally, I suppose, that's interference. And then the umpire said, hey, I guess that is interference, and called him out. So Hogan coming out looking for the same call obviously doesn't get it there.
So Tokunaga at second with his second stolen base of the day. He jumps off. Percival looks back. He is going to get Tokunaga at second, cheating. Tokunaga tried to get another great jump. Percival with a terrific pickoff move back to second. Scotty Wright applying the tag. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And that's something that Josh Hogan, Jeff Lyle, and Christian Coronado will be very happy with, because we have been working as a pitching staff with our middle infielders on a timing pick, and it appears to have worked there.
Next pitch from Percival, curveball in there for a strike, 1-2 to Brandon De La Guardia.
And something that you learn, especially for Cole being so young, just out of high school, is how to hold runners at the college level. And so this is really good experience for him.
Next pitch from Percival, that is hit softly to Hanna at second base. Routine grounder over to first in time to retire the Heat. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Rogues still trailing 3-1. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We'll be back with the top of the 5th, right after this. Located just 5 minutes from the I-5 in Grants Pass, Hellgate Jet Boat Excursions is the only place you need to go for the ultimate Rogue River experience. Jet through historic Hellgate Canyon, lounge at the exclusive OK Corral, and feast on all-you-can-eat homemade barbecue. Visit www.hellgate.com to book your experience today. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Jamie Flynn, starting pitcher for the Rogues, here with me on the call for, well, as long as I can have you, really. This has been terrific so far.
I think I'm going to steal some time, definitely. I think Coach Hogan's very generous having me up here, but I love to give back to the fans and the community, and I'm hoping that my insight as far as Rogues baseball is concerned on this broadcast is helping out, John.
It certainly is. First pitch swinging to Scotty Wright, leading things off for the Rogues, goes foul. Count is 0-1. Rogues trailing 3-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Rogues have 1 run on 4 hits. Heat have 3 runs on 5 hits. No errors yet in this one. Stadium is completely engulfed in shadows. Here's the next pitch to Scotty Wright. Outside, 1-1.
And you mentioned how close the hit columns are for both teams, and unfortunately for the Rogues, that's what happens when a couple of guys are led on base for free via the walk, is they're going to end up scoring more runs when you scatter the hits in as well.
Absolutely. Next pitch to Wright, called a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Walks were a big story in the entire Marysville series, especially in that last game. Here's the next pitch to Wright is just outside. Catcher Davison wanted that pitch, didn't get it. Count is even at 2 apiece. The Rogues led off the final game of the 3-game series against Marysville with 3 walks. Here's the next pitch to Wright. Swung on, fouled back. Count stays even at 2-2. And then Connor Lowry came up and delivered a sac fly, so the Rogues scored a run without getting a hit. That's actually what happened here in Chico. Leadoff man Tanner Tokunaga walked and then stole a base, and then a sac fly by Garrett Kelly brought him home. So shows just how important free bases, how much that can affect a game, how much it can affect an inning. Here's the next pitch to Scotty Wright. Called strike 3. Jake Davison knew it. Immediately got up out of the crouch, throwing over to his infield. Scotty Wright retired on strikes looking. That'll bring up Davis DeLorfus, the leadoff man.
And unfortunately for Scott on that one, that's one of those sliders that kind of ended up backing up on the pitcher, but it was in a good enough location up and in over the plate that it ended up being strike 3. And you're expecting that ball to break more over the plate. And when you see it kind of not doing that, it's a tough pitch to swing at.
First pitch swinging for DeLorfus. Back to the pitcher, Lee. Lee fires over to the first baseman who had to jump off the bag to make the catch, but taps his toe before DeLorfus gets there to retire Davis DeLorfus for the second out. Great play by Marcus Wilhite.
And, John, that's outstanding footwork by the first baseman. He came off the bag into foul territory over the line and kept his right foot on the bag while he still caught the ball, switching feet as he did so. And that's another outstanding play. And thanks to his footwork on a couple of plays, that infield's been saved and got a couple outs for their pitcher.
Absolutely right. That brings up Jaden Hanna, who is 1 for 2 on the day, but has 2 well-hit balls. First one back in the first inning. Extra bases robbed by Tanner Tokunaga out there in center. First pitch is outside to Hanna. Ball 1.
It's hard to say when you look at actual statistical categories and the guy's not leading in too many that he's the hottest hitter for the Rogues, but based on the number of times he's made the barrel find the baseball, he's definitely one of the hottest Rogues right now.
Next pitch to Hanna is outside, 2-0. Nobody on, 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Your Rogues trailing 3-1 here against the Chico Heat. Lights have come on here at Nettleton Stadium. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit well, and that's going to fall in left field. So another hit for Jaden Hanna. 3 well-hit balls. Just as Jamie alluded to, seeing the ball well right now, getting the barrel of the bat through the strike zone.
And Jaden does a really good job of working up the middle and to the left side as a left-handed batter. And that's a textbook Jaden Hanna base hit as far as I'm concerned, being a Rogues player. And we see a lot of that from Jaden, something hard hit over the shortstop and towards the left fielder.
So that brings up Eric Yang, the designated hitter. Eric Yang grounded out in the first and then called for catcher's interference back in the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit just over the pitcher's head. Coming on as a shortstop, he can't make the throw. Bobbled it on the transition. Joe Raymond, the shortstop for the Chico Heat. Everyone's safe. So 2 on now and 2 out for the Rogues.
And here's my question to you, John, as a broadcaster. Do you rule that an error or is that a hit in your scorebook? That's a tough play for the shortstop, but Yang is not the fastest, and maybe on a good transition, he throws him out.
Yeah, I think you have to call that an error. I think it's awarded as a hit here at Chico. Little hometown love for Joe Raymond. It'll be ruled a hit. That's one of those 50-50 calls that when I'm calling games with BG Gold up at there in Harry and David Field, we go back and forth over whether those plays are a hit or an error. First pitch to Alex Isola in there for a strike.
And Beej is definitely the right guy for the call on that. I would probably trust him 10 times out of 10 as far as a hit versus an error is concerned.
Absolutely. Isola hits that one to the second baseman. Van Blake fires it over to the shortstop covering second base. That's Joe Raymond for the force out, and that ends the inning. Rogues strand 2. We head to the home half of the 5th. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. 5-3 game. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call, and joining me on the broadcast, Jamie Flynn. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-1 Heat on top. First pitch to Garrett Kelly. He tries to bunt. It goes foul. Count is 0-1.
And DeLorfis playing a little bit of third base for the Rogues made a really good play to end the first earlier this evening. Interesting lineup for the Rogues with him and Scott on the left side together. It's not been a combination that's happened very often, but they do a good job. They both have very good gloves and above average arms. That's for sure, John.
Well, that shows just how important your apparel is. Here's the next pitch. I say that jokingly, of course. I know you mean
that. Of course.
Next pitch to Garrett Kelly is outside. 1-1 the count. Cole Percival still on the mound for the Rogues. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. That one's high and in. Ball 2.
Oh, yeah, the thing about summer ball is you don't always know the guys coming in and out and joining the team late. And so Cole's second time coming out there. But, you know, most of my infielders, I'd say all of my infielders, I'm happy to see behind me. But this is a good crew we have tonight for the Rogues.
Next pitch swung on, fouled back off the first base side. That's going to head into the parking lot. Evens the count at 2 apiece. 1 run, 6 hits for the Rogues. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Chico Heat.
And no errors, a clean ball game, John.
It's always glad to see. That first series with Yuba was not pretty, to say the least. But Rogues have really cleaned it up here, hitting their stride in the middle of the season. That next pitch is high, running the count full to Garrett Kelly. Waiting on deck, first baseman Marcus Wilhite.
You know, with so many games, I think we play upwards of 50 games. And so with so many games, you're going to run into errors, and that's going to happen. And the pitchers are going to help the position players with those errors by getting guys out, and then vice versa as well.
That pitch is going to be poked into right field and in. It falls for a single. So Garrett Kelly, with his second hit of the day, he had a 2 RBI single back in the second inning. And that'll bring up Marcus Wilhite.
And it looks like the Rogues got Chris Painter, the left-hander out of Central Point, down in the bullpen. He's been down there for a couple of innings, but Percival's been able to throw some zeros up on the board the last 2 innings, and obviously hoping to do so again here and not get into the bullpen too quickly.
Leadoff man on for the Heat. Here's the pitch to Wilhite. That is outside, 1-0. Wilhite, the left-handed batter from Oroville, California, attending college at Butte Community College, standing in at 5'10", 190 pounds. Garrett Kelly at first. Josh Berman holding him on. Percival fires over. Nothing doing. Percival is going to get down on one knee and tie his shoe. Nobody out. Runner on first for the Heat. Bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 on top of your Medford Rogues. 1-0 the count to the first baseman, Marcus Wilhite. Percival sets, comes home, catches the outside corner. Count even, 1-1.
And that's a great pitch right there by Cole to get the even count back in his favor. And hopefully here he can get ahead with another pitch. He struggled early with the 1-1 count. He ran into quite a few of them, but it looks as if he's settled in.
I have to agree with you. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Nope, it's going to be a soft toss over to Berman. Garrett Kelly back standing.
And sometimes you don't have to necessarily give your best move over to first. If you think he's moving on a certain pitch, the runner, you can kind of do something lazy that kind of just essentially shows him that you're there, you're thinking about him. And if he does end up flinching, it's one of those ones that you get him, and it's all for the better for the pitcher.
Right. Next pitch is a called strike to Wilhite. Percival ahead, 1-2 on the batter. Here's the pitch. Taking off is Kelly. That ball is fouled back, and Kelly will have to walk back to first base.
And that's kind of one of those nuances in the game, John, as far as it being a 1-2 count, something that coaches will often do with a 1-2 count early in a game, especially when you have a lead, is you'll send a runner because the batter's going to be swinging anyways. It eliminates the double play ball if there's a ball on the ground. And at the same time, it's very likely that there's a breaking ball in store for that count.
That next pitch is fouled back. Garrett Kelly was not running on that play. Count is still 1-2 to Marcus Wilhite. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rogues trailing 3-1 here at Nettleton Stadium. Jamie Flynn joining me on the call, giving us some terrific insight into the dugout and just of the game of baseball as a player. Here's the pitch from Percival. That ball is hit to the second baseman, Hannah. Hannah looked at second, no play, now comes back to first, retires Wilhite. Kelly advances to second on the play. 1 out now, bottom of the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Cole Lemmel, who has reached twice today. He walked and singled in this one.
And that's a good play by Jaden Hanna there. Deep in the hole on the right side of the infield. He flipped his hip as if he was going to try and get the lead runner, and he thought better of it and had plenty of time, trusted his internal clock, as many of us say in the game of baseball, and had plenty of time to throw the runner out at first base.
So 1 out, runner on second for the Heat. First pitch to Cole Lemmel is outside, ball 1. Lemmel steps into the batter's box. Percival getting the sign from Alex Isola behind the dish. Percival steps off the rubber, looking back. Kelly scampering back to second. All set to do this again. Nope. Percival steps off the mound. Going to take a quick breather here. Stepping into the press box, Sammy Costello, one of the interns for the Medford Rogues. That pitch is hit high to center field. Connor Lowry makes the catch. Running on the play is Kelly. Just gets in there at third. That was not a routine move over to third base on the deep fly ball. On the slide, Kelly hopped up on the bag. DeLorfus just late applying the tag.
Delorfus kind of left the tag on there for a second, thinking that maybe his momentum, the runner's momentum, would pop him up off of the bag, and kind of appealed for it, but the umpire stuck with his call.
So that'll bring it the designated hitter, Jake Rodeville. Rodeville 0 for 2 on the day. First pitch is a ball.
What was also very surprising is Connor Lowry was very deep on that.
He was.
And had the arm strength to one-hop it relatively close as far as timing is concerned at third there.
Next pitch by Percival. That is hit off the first base side foul and out of play. 1-1 the count to Jack Rodeville. 2 outs. Runner at third for the Heat in the bottom of the 5th inning. They're on top over your Rogues 3-1. Game 1 of a 3-game series here at Nettleton Stadium before your Rogues return home on Monday, June 26th. Percival set at the hip. Here he comes home. Called strike on the outside corner.
And this is going to be a big put out if Cole can end up getting that for the Rogues and get him back into the dugout with 3 consecutive innings of no runs. And the Rogues are looking to punch back, as we alluded to earlier.
1-2 the count to Jack Rodeville. Here's the pitch by Percival. Poked at off the first base side, giving chase. It's going to land in fair ground just over the outstretched arm of Josh Berman. That is going to score Garrett Kelly. Sorry about that. That's going to score Garrett Kelly, who led the inning off with a single.
And you know what? I might have to take that earned run myself. I think a little commentator's curse there as far as that's concerned, talking about throwing up a 0 for the Rogues, and Josh Hogan's on his way out to the mound, and that looks like it's going to be Percival's night.
So I think we're going to have a pitching change here at Chico. Chris Painter coming on for the Rogues. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts.
Be sure to follow the Rogues on social media for giveaways, special behind-the-scenes features, and more. Like us on Facebook at Medford Rogues Baseball, and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Medford Rogues.
Welcome back to Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Pitching change for the Rogues. On in relief is Chris Painter. Here's the first pitch from Painter. It is outside and low, ball 1. Cole Percival, who started out this game, his night is done. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, is still responsible for the runner at first. That is Jack Rodeville. 4 earned runs so far. Next pitch to Caleb Van Blake is low, ball 2.
And Painter's a little bit of switch pace here. You know, you have the tall, lanky, hard-throwing UC Riverside commit in Percival, and now you bring in a left-hander who's definitely more on the crafty side of things. And so Chris Painter looking to get this out.
Painter fires over to first. Rodeville back in time. Bottom of the 5th inning, 4-1 Heat on top of the Rogues. 2 outs. 2-0 the count to Van Blake, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Painter sets, looks at first, now comes home. In there for a strike, 2-1.
And, you know, it's always nice, and it seems like most staffs nowadays have left-handers, at least to be lefty specialists, and I don't know if that's why they brought in Painter here. I would assume they brought in Painter as a long relief guy, but he's getting to face a lefty, which, of course, lefty-lefty matchup, righty-righty matchup. Coaches are always in favor of that when they bring a new arm in.
That pitch is hit well to right field. Jake Helwig initially started back, now comes on, makes a diving grab to get Caleb Van Blake. Helwig initially taking some steps back in right field, then came on, made a great play, stuck with it, and that ends the threat for the Heat. 1 run does come across. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Rogues are on top, Rogues are trailing 4-1 here at Nettleton Stadium. I'm here with Jamie Flynn on the call. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm going to let Rogues Baseball is brought to you by Claudio Alvarez Construction and Restoration. Founded over 2 decades ago, Claudio Alvarez Construction and Restoration are there when you need them most. Whether it's fire, storm, or water damage, the Alvarez Restoration team is ready and willing to bring your home back to how it used to be. We like to say, when bad stuff happens, we make good stuff happen. Find us at alvarezrestoration.com or by calling 541-727-7340. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Top of the 5th inning, Connor Lowry sends a charge into that ball. That is going to be dropped this time by Tanner Tokunaga. Another diving attempt. Nearly robbed Connor Lowry of an extra base hit. Couldn't grab that one.
And that was an identical play, minus the result from that one in the 1st inning that Jaden Hanna.
Try that again. I have Jamie Flynn with me on the call. Jamie, what did you think about that play?
And one more inning for me up here, John. Thanks for having me. But that was almost an identical play to the one we had with Jaden Hanna, obviously the left-handed batter, so the ball slicing away. But this time, in the left center gap, Connor Lowry gets lucky because, wow, he laid out in center field again for that ball, and it hit off the end of his glove.
Yeah.
That close sometimes, and the Rogues threatening here with a runner on second, no outs.
That's right. Leadoff man Lowry aboard. Stepping in is Johnny De La Cruz, who is 1 for 2 on the day and scored the lone Rogues 1. First pitch to De La Cruz is down, ball 1. I'm Jonathan Kerman with you on the call. Jamie Flynn sitting next to me. A couple of guys living the dream, calling baseball.
Absolutely living the dream. We could do this every day. Unfortunately, baseball season's not year-round, John.
We'll work on changing that. Next pitch, De La Cruz is down and in, ball 2. I mean, we know BG Gold. There's a quick conversation out on the mound. BG Gold knows some people. I'm sure we could push that idea up through the ranks. float some ideas out there.
Well, they have winter leagues in the Dominican Republic. We could always go there if we want to leave America and go call those games. Although I don't know how widely broadcasted they are in the States. There's the Arizona Fall League. There's ways to get baseball going all year round, and different networks on the television that talk baseball all the time, and it's great to keep it going year round.
Absolutely. 2-0 pitch. De La Cruz swings at it. Hit to the shortstop, fires it over to first in time. Connor Lowry had to hold. The ball was hit in front of him. So De La Cruz retired on the ground out. Still a runner on second for the Rogues. That'll bring up Jake Helwig.
And right there, that's a tough pitch for Johnny De La Cruz to do what he wants to do and move that runner over to third base. And so Johnny looked a little bit like Johnny got jammed there and ended up hitting the ball to the shortstop, as he was clearly trying to hit the ball to the right side of the field and move Connor Lowry in that situation.
First pitch to Helwig. He shows bunt. Nothing doing. Pulls back. 1-0 the count. Faked throw by the catcher Jake Davison. Lowry dove back. No throw. Those of you asking at home, Johnny De La Cruz did get a hit. It was an RBI. Excuse me, not an RBI. It was a single back in the second inning. He would score the lone Rogues run. 4-1, Rogues trailing in the top of the sixth inning. Runner on second, that's Connor Lowry, led things off with a double. Jake Helwig at the dish, looks at ball 2.
And the Rogues looking to get to the starting pitcher here. The bullpen started working for the Chico Heat at the beginning of this inning, and so they're definitely thinking about maybe not riding this guy the rest of the game.
Here's the next pitch. Called a strike, 2-1.
And a generous strike call there is you get that off-speed breaking from the outside part of a plate on a lefty, as Helwig is, and it crosses the plate, maybe crosses the plate, maybe doesn't cross the plate. Either way, the umpire calls it maybe a little bit outside.
Next pitch swinging, Jake Helwig swung at a ball, fouled it back. Mad at himself, going to walk away from the batter's box, take a couple practice swings. Top of the sixth inning, your Rogues trailing 4-1. 7 hits for each team here at Nettleton Stadium. 2-2 the count, 1 out. Connor Lowry at second. Jake Helwig at the dish, waiting on deck, Josh Berman. Helwig waits. Here's the pitch. Outside. Running it full, 3-2.
See, and that's that same slider, I think, is what he's throwing on that outside of the plate. And that time it didn't break as much as the one that was called for the first strike of the at-bat. And Helwig gets lucky because that one looked almost as close as the first one.
Count runs full to Jake Helwig. Connor Lowry leading off at second. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit through the right side of the field. That's going to be another hit for Jake Helwig. Connor Lowry coming around to score. Jake Helwig has himself another RBI. Excuse me, just one today. Josh Berman was the one who got the RBI back in the first inning.
Yes, but that is Helwig's second hit of the game. And so the Rogues looking to chip away. They are now only 2 runs behind at 4-2.
Second single for Helwig. Second single to the right side of the field for Helwig. That'll bring up Josh Berman, who, as we just said, has an RBI sac fly. That was back in the top of the second inning. He hits that one to center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Back-to-back singles for the Rogues. They're in business here. Just one out in the the top of the sixth inning.
And it looks like we're going to see one of the coaches coming out of the dugout for the Heat here, John. Whether they're going to talk it over or make the call down to the bullpen remains to be seen. He is looking down there, not sure about it. But back to that hit that was just had by Josh Berman. Something hit really hard up the middle. The center fielder looked like he was charging in, but decided and second-guessed himself to not go after the ball and let it drop in front of him. Helwig only allowed to advance the one base.
And that's one of those 50-50 plays that you have to make really at any position on the baseball field, but especially in the outfield, because if you charge that ball and you miss, it's by you, and you're talking extra bases. You're talking extra bases, maybe in this ballpark, even one of the crazy things that we see in baseball, the inside the Parker, there was nobody to help him out. Neither of the corner outfielders were anywhere near that, and if he goes and lays out into that and it gets all the way to the wall, that could be trouble for the Chico Heat. So a good play by him, but the Rogues still dangerous here. Yep, 2 on, 1 out. Scotty Wright stepping into the plate. Walked back in the first inning and struck out. Here's the pitch. That ball's hit up the middle. 3 consecutive singles. Hogue is going to give the stop sign to Jake Helwig. Josh Hogan, the head coach, standing over there at the third base, being the third base coach. Helwig joking around with Hogan, saying, "Come on, man, I wanted to go home. I had it." But the bases are loaded for the Rogues for Davis DeLorfis, the leadoff man. And I think that's going to be it for Austin Lee. We have a pitching change here at Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Rogues have the bases loaded and 1 out. Don't go around. We'll be back right after this. Rogues fans, if you're looking for a used car or truck, why not head to the dealer that will give you the best quality vehicle at the best price? Crater Lake Ford uses real-time tracking software to research similar makes within hundreds of miles to give you the best car shopping experience while saving you time and money. Crater Lake Ford, right cars and trucks, right prices, right experiences. Visit CraterLakeFord.com today.
We're back on the road with the Rogues. Take the Rogues with you by following along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Pitching change here for the Chico Heat. It's going to be Lucas Knowles, the left-hander. So now both teams using left-handed pitchers after starting out with righties. But the story right now, bases are juiced, 1 out. Top of the order, Davis DeLorfis up at the plate. Jamie Flynn with me on the call.
And you know, the Rogues got Chris Painter in there. He came in and got the out, but they're not looking for the pitcher for the Chico Heat to get the same result as they look to push across maybe 1, maybe 2 more runs.
4-2 trailing are your Rogues. First pitch to DeLorfis called a strike on the outside corner, just 1 out. Lowry is at third. He led the inning off with a double. Jake Helwig at second. Josh Berman at first. Knowles sets, now comes home. Pitch hit foul, and DeLorfis is quickly down 0-2. DeLorfis batting .323 coming into this game. 14 runs scored, 20 hits in just 17 games.
Yeah, and he's been a mainstay for the Rogues thus far this season, and he's done a great job. Wherever they put him in the infield, DeLorfis has been solid for the Rogues, and I'm sure Josh Hogan's been very happy with that signee.
Here's the next pitch. That is high and outside. First ball to DeLorfis. 1-2 the count.
I had the pleasure of playing with a couple of ex-Rogues that were with us last summer from Utah that know Davis, and they spoke very highly of him when I reached out to them and asked them about him, and also Alex Isola, who was with the Utes as well last season.
Top of the second inning. Rogues already scratched a run across in this one. Connor Lowry, came home on an RBI single from Jake Helwig, who is now at third. Berman is at second. Scotty Wright is at first. It was 3 consecutive singles to knock Austin Lee out of the game. So apologize for that mishap there. Helwig at third. Berman at second. Wright at first. DeLorfis in a 2-2 count. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Rogues down 2. Here's the pitch. Just outside.
Wow, and you hear some of the fans as well as the Chico dugout and the coaching staff very unhappy with that call by the umpire. That pitch has been there, John.
It has. It has. I certainly thought it was strike 3, but works in the Rogues' favor. The count is now full. Just 1 out to Davis DeLorfis. Waiting on deck, Jaden Hanna. Here's the pitch from Knowles. Hit fouled, back to the screen. We'll do this again.
And, you know, just speaking from a reliever standpoint, you come in the game with the bases loaded, 1 out. You're looking for a double play ball, of course, but to have a 7-8 pitch at bat, as DeLorfis has here, you definitely can get frustrated because you think you've made a pitch that could get him out, especially that one that maybe could have been called. So we'll see if he can knuckle down here or Davis can get him.
That pitch is in the dirt, and they are going to walk home a run. Davis DeLorfis with an RBI walk. Second run comes across for the Rogues. That is Jake Helwig, who singled home Connor Lowry. And it's now 3-4. Rogues still have the bases loaded and only 1 out.
And this might be the matchup that they figured would be best to bring in a left-hander here. Is, you know, they do give up the 1, or maybe he gets an out with the right-hander coming in. But now that Hanna's stepping in the left-handed batter's box, this lefty-lefty matchup, as we've alluded to a couple of times, Jaden Hanna, one of the hottest Rogues in the lineup.
Hanna, 3 well-hit balls today, only 2 hits to show for it. Robbed of extra bases on a great play by Tanner Tokunaga in center field. That ball is hit high and foul back just in front of the press box. Thud. There it goes.
And I think always advantage pitcher the first time they come in the game. The other batters for the Rogues have been timing up this right-hander that's been in the game for innings after innings, and then this new left-handed arm comes in, and it's hard to get that timing right, and so being a reliever, you definitely get that advantage at first.
0-1 the count to Hanna. 1 out here. Bases are juiced. That pitch is outside. 1-1 the count. Berman at third. Scotty Wright at second. Davis DeLorfis at first.
And I'll tell you what, I've played with 4 Rogues programs, 4 summers with the Rogues now, and this is one of the most resilient Rogue teams I've ever seen. They've punched back and won late ball games more than any other Rogues team I've been a part of. And here we are again, John, looking at a 4-3 game where they're down, but they're not going away.
No, they're not. A lot of fighters on this team, and that's just terrific to see, the spirit of this Rogues team. Next pitch is a called strike, off-speed pitch. 1-2 the count.
And so this is where it gets interesting here, is you're looking for that double play ball, but now you have that 1-2 count on Hanna. Do you try to put him away, or do you try to have a soft ground ball hit somewhere and get out of the inning immediately? Do you sacrifice that run? Is it early enough in the game? Those are all the questions that are going through the pitcher's mind.
Josh Berman, the tying run at first. Here's the pitch. That is high. Ball 2. That ball was over Jaden Hanna's head. Hanna's not the tallest guy.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
But it certainly got the catcher, Jake Davison, jumping up out of his crouch to snag that one.
Regardless, we do call him Big Jaden on the team, even though our other Jaden is actually probably a whole head or more taller than him.
That's right. Jaden France, the starting pitcher, coming in at 6'4". Jaden Hanna swinging the biggest bat right now. That ball is down and in. It gets away from the catcher. He's not going to make the play. The tying run comes home. Josh Berman came home on the pass ball or wild pitch, depending on how you score it, by Lucas Knowles. I think it went right between the legs of the catcher, Jake Davison. Tying run is in.
And I think a very difficult play for the catcher there.
Yes.
You know, you want them to be able to block that pitch, but it was a spiked slider, the third straight to Hanna in this count, and it was a little bit outside, and so the catcher has to move to his left and also get down into his crouch to try to block that ball. One of the most difficult things to do in baseball. And so the Rogues, obviously the beneficiary of that one.
Capitalize on the mistake. Still have 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out. Jaden Hanna hits 1 to center field. Tokunaga is there. They're going to test the arm. Wright coming home. No play at home. DeLorfis advancing on the play. He gets in there at third. So now the Rogues have taken the lead on the RBI sac fly by Jaden Hanna.
And that's a great job by Hanna. You know, he gets the run that scores to tie the game, and then he does his job with 2 strikes. Maybe not the best pitch, not the pitch he's looking for, but a selfless player in Hanna hits it to the outfield. Not a good enough throw from the outfielder, but what's interesting about that play, John, from a baseball standpoint, is the fact that they cut that off and tried to gun DeLorfis down at third, and had he been tagged out on the close play that was at third before the run had scored, the Rogues would not have gotten it.
That's true. Eric Yang up at the plate. He's going to get a hit, and that's going to score Davis DeLorfis. So all the runners that were on base in that bases loaded situation have come home for the Rogues. They open things up here. 5 runs in the 6th inning. They take a 6-4 lead.
And one of the biggest things Coach Jeff Lyle has always talked about in every meeting, for those Rogues fans that watch us constantly, they see that we meet after the games in a circle out down our baseline, wherever we are. One thing he continues to talk about is not give up the big inning, and the Chico Heat have done that this time around, and the Rogues obviously are looking for that as hitters and as bats are concerned. But the Rogues haven't given up that big inning, but they get it here with that 5 spot.
They certainly do. Alex Isola now at the dish. Eric Yang at first. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That ball's low. 1-0 the count to Alex Isola.
And I've been really impressed with Yang since he's been up. I think every ball except for I think the first time I saw him hit a ball soft was his first at bat of the game. And he's been absolutely tearing it up. A great addition to the Rogues since he's joined. And I think he's probably only had about 20 at bats overall. Certainly
not many. That next pitch to Berman is low. 3-0 the count now, says the scoreboard. Eric Yang only had 15 at-bats coming into this game, had 9 hits and 3 doubles in those 15 at-bats. Next pitch is a called strike. Isola taking all the way on that one. 3-1 the count to Alex Isola. 2 outs, top of the 5th inning, 5 already across. Eric Yang at first. Here's the pitch from Lucas Knowles. That ball is hit sharply foul off the third base side, running the count full.
And something else that we can talk about as far as Yang's concerned is it's great to have another catcher in for the Rogues. And something that the pitching coaches were making fun of Josh Hogan for was having 4 traditional catchers in a row, actually, in the lineup at different positions, of course. But the first game that Yang was there, we had Stutzman, Yang, Isola, and also
Dante Gutierrez.
Dante Gutierrez, yes. All 4 of them in a row in the lineup, which is something interesting to see. And they've produced all of them so far. And obviously Dante, unfortunately, took that ball to his eye the other night and had to come out of the game. But he said he should be ready for tomorrow night.
I heard it was a bee sting. Am I being fed misinformation?
Oh, is it maybe it is a bee sting.
Next pitch is going to be swung on and hit to the shortstop. Over at the play at first is a close one. Safe! Alex Isola legged it out. It was a tough play for the shortstop, Joe Raymond, deep in the hole. Isola legs it out. Runners still on for the Rogues. 2 on, 2 out in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Connor Lowry, who led off this inning with a double.
And we can get back to that bee sting or ball hit in a second, but I'm really proud of Alex Isola. The guy runs pretty well for a big catcher, but he beat that one out, and that really energized the Rogues' dugout.
You could see the reaction from the dugout. That pitch is in there to Connor Lowry. Lowry looking back at home plate umpire, not saying anything, giving all the information he needs to give with the eyes.
So I guess my question for you is who told you bee sting?
I'll have to think about that. Next pitch to Connor Lowry is a called strike, and Connor Lowry is now visibly upset. He puts his hands up in the air asking, what the heck was that? And even Hogan has his hands open saying, come on. Looked way inside.
Well, the ball was way inside, and even though it does break towards the middle of the plate, it's where the ball crosses the plate, and that's a common misconception for a lot of people that watch baseball. And especially with all the camera angles that we have nowadays, and you and I are right behind home plate, and that looked to have crossed in the batter's box, and then the catcher does a good job framing it and, of course, stealing the strike.
Swung on and missed by Connor Lowry. He's down on 3 pitches, having a quick conversation with the home plate umpire before walking back to the dugout. 5 runs come across for the Rogues in the top of the 6th inning. Your Rogues are on top, 6-4 in Nettleton over the Chico Heat. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Fans, I can't tell you how many times we've had to replace a window at Harry and David Field because of a stray fly ball. When we need our windows fixed or replaced, the only team we trust are the folks at Bill's Glass. With locations in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass, Bill's Glass is the fastest and most affordable glass service in Southern Oregon. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Bottom of the 6th inning, your Rogues are on top 6-4 after a 5-run 6th inning. Chris Painter on the mound in relief for Cole Percival. His first pitch to the catcher, Jake Davison, is in there for a strike. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call. Joining me for this last half inning, Jamie Flynn. It's just been a treat. Davison puts a charge of that ball into left field, but De La Cruz is there to retire him. First out of the 6th.
You know, initially off the bat there, that ball looked like it might find some room down the left field line, but De La Cruz with an outstanding jump to go track that one down. But, John, what I want to talk about is I'm excited now the Rogues are up 6-4, but what I'm really excited about is I want to talk about this bee sting that you think happened to my friend Dante.
I did not make this up. I assure all of those of you at home, this did not come out of the blue. I was told bee sting by who I will not say to keep my sources anonymous, as any good reporter would.
Of course.
Ball 1 to Joe Raymond. Here's the next pitch from Painter. That one's in the dirt, ball 2. But apparently, what I'm being told is incorrect or a fabricated story.
I think it was slightly fabricated, and maybe they were making fun of Dante, but something that we talked about at the break, John, was you noticed that there wasn't any swelling going on, and so, any color in the swelling going on.
Yes, Dante Gutierrez's eye was about the size of a grapefruit.
Yes.
But there was no swelling. It just looked very puffy, like he had some really bad plastic surgery.
Sure.
Another ball by Chris Painter, 3-0 to Joe Raymond. On deck, Tanner Tokunaga.
So the good news and the bad news. The good news is that the eye is not as swollen as it was, and
Good.
He looks much better, although it has purpled quite a bit. Definitely looks like he got kind of an elbow in the face sort of thing.
First pitch is in there for a strike by Painter. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Another called strike, so Painter works the count full 3-2 after falling behind 3-0. One out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Your Rogues are on top 6-4.
And so to finish the story, essentially what did happen is during the middle of an inning when ground balls are thrown,
that ball is hit to the shortstop, Scotty Wright, right over to Berman in time for the second out of the inning.
So ground balls are thrown by the first baseman to all of his infielders as a sort of practice between innings. And unfortunately, the shortstop that night for Gutierrez threw a ball in the dirt over by first base, and it took a wicked hop, at least from my angle, and he said as well, and it bounced the other direction and actually came up and hit him in the face. And I think there are actually a couple stitches from the ball looking things right around his eye.
So there you go. That's the real story, according to Jamie Flynn. First ball to Tanner Tokunaga, swung at and fouled at. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Next pitch is low, ball 1.
Painter's making quick work of the Chico hitters here, but maybe I was told incorrectly about what actually happened. I was actually looking the other way, talking to a teammate, and I heard Dante went down. So maybe it was a giant bee. The moths were all over that night, anyways.
They certainly were. The bugs were out in Marysville. That pitch is fouled back 1 and 2. And Doug, you are correct. Twitter did say a bee sting. I am actually the one mainly responsible. It's a team effort here at the Rogues, but I was the one who posted that. Again, because I that's what I was told. I did not come up with this. This was not a dream.
I think Kevin actually told you that, John.
It may have
on the bus after the game, and I'm sorry for that misinformation there. Thanks for having me on, John.
Absolutely. Swing and a miss by Tanner Tokunaga ends the 6th inning, and that's going to do it for Jamie Flynn. Thank you so much, Jamie, for joining us here on the broadcast. It has been a treat having you.
Hey, I really appreciate it, and it's really awesome to be able to come up here and do what I love to do with you, and I hope I'll be back soon.
Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Your Rogues are on top 6-4. We'll be back. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call. Thank you so much to Jamie Flynn for joining us. I really enjoyed his insight. I hope all of you did at home too. Next pitch to Johnny De La Cruz, swung on, fouled back. It's going to stay in fair ground. The catcher, Jake Davison, makes the catch right next to the home plate, and De La Cruz is retired.
Now batting, right fielder number 27, Jake Hellweg.
So that'll bring up Jake Hellweg. Your Rogues are on top 6-4 here in the top of the 7th inning, thanks to a 5-run 6th inning. First pitch is outside to Hellweg, 0-1. 1-0, excuse me. Hellweg is 2 for 3 on the day with a run scored. Next pitch is low, 2-0 the count. Here's the next pitch to Hellweg. In there for a strike, 2-1. Rogues with 6 runs on 12 hits. Heat with 4 runs on 7 hits. We have a pitching change for the Heat. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. On the mound is Tanner Clark for the Heat. He came in to start this inning. Got Johnny De La Cruz to pop out to the catcher. Coach Hogan having a conversation with the home plate umpire. And I think he's been tossed. Hogan walking back to the dugout. Maybe not, having just a quick conversation. I'm not sure what happened. My correction, excuse me, Hogan not thrown out. Did have a conversation, a lengthy conversation with the home plate umpire. I believe arguing balls and strikes. It's gotten a little dicey here in these last few innings. Connor Lowry not happy on some of the called strikes that he received. Next pitch swinging to Jake Hellweg, and that is going to be through again to the right side. 3 singles for Jake Hellweg, all through the right side of the field. 1-out single for Hellweg, and that brings up Josh Berman, who has a sac fly in the 2nd and a single and a run scored in the 6th, part of that 5-run 6th inning. I cannot state enough how much of a treat it was having Jamie Flynn on the call with me. Getting that insight not only as a player, not only as a member of the Rogues dugout, but just as a fan of the game. It was truly remarkable. I hope all of you at home enjoyed that as much as I did. 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Rogues on top 6-4. Hellweg at first. Berman at the plate. Hellweg takes off. That pitch is outside. Here's the throw. Play at the second is not going to be in time. Hellweg has himself a stolen base. Hellweg runs well for such a big guy. That is his 5th stolen base of the year. So the Rogues now have a runner in scoring position with just 1 out. Wind has just about died down here in Chico. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit high, but not far at all. It's going to actually land in foul ground, caught by the catcher, Jake Davison, just about the same place where he caught Johnny De La Cruz foul ball. So 2 outs for the Rogues, but Hellweg is at second. That brings up Scotty Wright, who is 1 for 2, walked, singled, and scored a run in the 2nd inning. Tanner Clark from Folsom, California, 5'11" right-hander, weighing in at 170 on the mound for the Heat. Hellweg at second. Scotty Wright at the plate, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Called strike, 0-1. Some action in the Rogues bullpen. That is Aaron Hutchinson getting warm. Rogues on top 6-4 here. 0-1 the count to Scotty Wright. Clark looks back at second, now comes home. That ball hits him. High and inside, hits Scotty Wright on the bicep. So the Rogues now have 2 on with 2 out. That'll bring up the leadoff man, Davis DeLorfis. So sources close to the team say that Dante Gutierrez did not get stung by a bee over the left eye, but was instead hit by a ball that jumped up on him in Marysville. Here's the first pitch to DeLorphis. That ball is hit sharply through the left side of the infield. That's going to be a hit. Coming around is Jake Helwig, not fielded cleanly by Garrett Kelly. Helwig is going to score standing. RBI single for Davis DeLorphis, and the Rogues are now on top 7-4. Would have been a close play for the left fielder Garrett Kelly. Didn't field it cleanly. And that'll bring up Jaden Hanna. And stepping into the press box now is Jaden France, last night's starting pitcher. Here's the next pitch. First pitch to Hanna is in there for a strike. Jaden Hanna has hit the ball well every time up. He is 2 for 4 with an RBI sac fly. We're going to get Jaden set up here in just a quick second. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. Rogues are on top 7-4 over the Heat. Hanna waits. Here's the pitch. That ball is high and outside. 1-1 the count. Helwig at second. Scotty Wright at first. Helwig with his 3rd single of the day, stole a base and scored. Scotty Wright is at second. Davis DeLorphis is at first, excuse me. That pitch is a called strike. Jaden Hanna didn't like it. 1-2 the count. Back in the first inning, Jaden Hanna hit a ball very hard to the left center gap, robbed of extra bases and potentially an RBI by Tanner Tokunaga, the center fielder, made a diving catch to Rob Hanna. 1-2 the count. Swung on and missed by Jaden Hanna. That's going to do it for the Rogues. But one run does come across. That was Jake Helwig. And the Rogues tack on another. 7-4 over the Chico Heat. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Go ahead and stretch. You've earned it. We'll be back with the rest of the ball game in just a few minutes. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Chris Painter, on the mound for the Rogues in his 2nd inning of work. Thrown 2 balls to Brandon De La Guardia, the Chico 3rd baseman. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 2-1. 2-1 the count to Brandon De La Guardia. That pitch is outside, ball 3. Three and 1 the count. That ball is hit sharply up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Leadoff base hit for Brandon De La Guardia to start out the 7th inning. Rogues are on top 7-4. Chico, he got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the 5th. Rogues got 1 in the second, and then 5 in the 6th, tacked on 1 more in the 7th. 7 runs, 14 hits for the Rogues, 4 runs, 8 hits for the Heat. No errors on both sides, and that's what you expect from the two teams who were in the championship game just last season. So stepping in now is Garrett Kelly, who has 3 RBIs on the day, 2 singles, and a run scored. First pitch to Kelly is outside, ball 1. Kelly hasn't been with the team long, but came into the game with a .556 batting average in the 3 games that he's played with the Heat. De La Guardia is at first. Painter fires over to first, not in time. One and 0 the count to Garrett Kelly. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Nettleton Stadium. Lights are on, sun has set. Painter fires over to first again. LaGuardia back up standing again. Chris Painter has a 2.45 ERA coming into this one. Here's the next pitch from Painter. That one's outside. 1-1. Chris Painter is effective without getting strikeouts. Has just 6 strikeouts in 18 1/3 innings. But does have 2 wins under his belt as a Rogue. 2-0 the count to Garrett Kelly. Runner on first, nobody out for the Heat. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit well. That's going to be by a diving Davis DeLorfis on the left side of the field. Back-to-back singles for the Heat. And the tying run comes up to the plate. That is Marcus Wilhite. Aaron Hutchinson still warming in the Rogues bullpen. And actually, here comes Josh Hogan. That might be it for Chris Painter. We'll see. And that is, yep. So, Chris Painter's night is done. Coming in relief is Aaron Hutchinson. We'll be back after a quick break. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I have a second, fans, to talk to you about Mary's Barbecue. Tender, juicy, smoked meat, homemade sides, and friendly service. And it's easy for anyone in Southern Oregon to get to. Mary's Barbecue at 841 East Pine Street in Central Point. Follow along on Facebook or their website, marysbbqplace.com. Medford Rogues Baseball is also brought to you by our friends at Avista. Serving Medford since 1906, Avista has created opportunities, sparked imaginations, and fueled innovation. Today, as they celebrate more than a century of service, the folks at Avista are committed as ever to helping the communities they serve to grow and prosper. Head to avista-utilities.com today. Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Pitching change for the Rogues. Aaron Hutchinson is on. Chris Painter's night is done. 1.1 innings in relief. Gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, but is responsible for the runners at first and second. First pitch swinging by Marcus Wilhite. Swings through that one. Count is 0-1. Nobody out here. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Rogues are on top 7-4. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call with you. Thank you all so much for joining us. Here's the next pitch from Hutchinson. That ball is hit foul off the third base side. Giving chase is DeLorfis, and that one lands out of play. So 0-2 the count to Marcus Wilhite. Brandon De La Guardia at second, Garrett Kelly at first. They both had back-to-back singles off of Chris Painter. Here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. LaGuardia and Kelly both taking huge leads on that pitch, daring Alex Isola to backpick them, which Isola is certainly up to the task. Here's the pitch. 1-2 the count. That ball is hit softly on the left side of the field. It's going to be just foul. About 5 feet off of the foul line in left field. Count remains 1-2. Heroes is the new place for gourmet subs, wraps, salads, and burgers. People are really talking about how Heroes is the best sandwich shop in town. Go give them a try. Eat like a hero. Hero Subs. Marcus Wilhite stepping back into the batter's box, left-handed batter. 1-2 the count, nobody out. 2 on for the Heat, bottom of the 7th inning. Your Rogues are on top, 7-4. Aaron Hutchinson on the mound in relief. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2-2. Rogues dugout barking at the home plate umpire. Been a lot of disagreement on the called balls and strikes in this game, particularly the horizontal side-to-side parts of the plate. Next pitch, that one is hit to right field. Coming on and making the catch is Jake Helwig. No advancement on the play. So now 1 out. Runners do not advance, and that will bring up the right fielder Cole Lemmel. Lemmel, right-handed batter, has walked a single, stolen a base, and then flied out. De La Guardia still at second, Garrett Kelly still at first for the Heat. 1 out in a 3-run ball game, excuse me. That pitch to Lemmel is in there for a strike, 0-1. Aaron Hutchinson looking in, getting the sign from Alex Isola. Comes set, looks back, now comes home. High and outside, count is even at 1-1. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here on the Medford Rogues live stream presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call with you tonight and for the rest of this series here in Chico. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2-1. Isola faked the back pick. Scampering back was Garrett Kelly. No throw. So 2-1 now to Cole Lemmel. Hutchinson gets the sign. Back pick at second. Close play. Hannah is not happy about that one. It was a very close play at second. Great pickoff move by Aaron Hutchinson. Ruled safe by the field ump. That was a terrific pickoff move by Aaron Hutchinson. 2-1 still to Cole Lemmel. That's Brandon De La Guardia out at second. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit softly on the left side of the field. They're going to let it roll just foul. That ball just rolled foul as it was passing the third base bag. Thank you all for the kind words on the chat. Love hearing from you. Without the chat, it's just me sitting in an empty room talking to myself. 2-2 the count to Cole Lemmel. Hutchinson waits. Now comes home. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit sharply right at Hutchinson. Catches it. Fires it over to second in time to get Brandon LaGuardia. Double play. The Rogues get out of the inning after 2 on and nobody out. Aaron Hutchinson picks up Chris Painter. No runs come across. 2 left for the Chico Heat. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Your Rogues are on top 7-4. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We're in the top of the 8th inning here at Nettleton Stadium. Your Rogues are on top 7-4 over the defending champion Chico Heat. Stepping into the batter's box, Eric Yang, not sure where I got Alex from. Probably Alex Isola, the catcher, waiting on deck. First pitch to Eric Yang, outside, ball 1. Here's the next pitch. Yang hits that one high and deep to left field. That is going to be caught by the left fielder. What a terrific play out in left field by Garrett Kelly, robbing Eric Yang of extra bases. Not the first terrific play we've seen in the outfield today by both teams. Back in the first inning, Tanner Tokunaga robbing Jaden Hanna of extra bases on a well-hit ball to left center field, On the other side, Jake Hellwig made a terrific diving play in right. First pitch to Alex Isola is down, ball 1. Here's the next pitch to Isola, swung on and fouled back. 1-1 the count. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. Your Rogues are on top, 7-4. 14 hits for the Rogues, 9 hits for the Heat. No errors across the board. Here's the next pitch. That ball's low. 2-1 now to Alex Isola. Waiting on deck, Connor Lowry, who has doubled and scored in this one. Here's the pitch. That one catches the outside part of the plate. Count is even, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on. It was a shattered bat. Rolls softly to the pitcher, Tanner Clark. Clark fires over to the first baseman, Marcus Wilhite, in time to retire Isola. 2 down in the top of the 8th.
Center fielder number 10, Connor Lowry.
So as they clear off the bat shards off the field, Connor Lowry will step into the batter's box, the RBI leader in the Great West League. Has 24 of them, leading the team by a far margin. Here's the first pitch to Connor Lowry. That ball is hit well through the right side of the field. That's going to be a base hit. So a 2-out single for Connor Lowry, his second hit of the day, brings up Johnny De La Cruz. De La Cruz singled and scored in the second inning. De La Cruz making some great plays out in left field. Plays that to a casual fan may look like a routine out, but as Jamie Flynn gave us insight, running on the throw is Connor Lowry. He's in there. He stole second. Connor Lowry running on the first pitch, steals second base. The Rogues have a runner in scoring position with 2 out. De La Cruz at the plate. Jamie Flynn giving some great insight as a baseball player, as a member of the Rogues team in the dugout. De La Cruz getting some great jumps out there in left field to get to those balls without having to make a terrific diving play. That next ball is in the dirt, and Connor Lowry is now stuck in between second and third. The pitch is going to be, the throw rather, not in time. So the ball bounces in front of Jake Davison, the Heat catcher. Connor Lowry, unsure if he should go, took a hop step towards third. Davison had him rung up. Lowry faked to second. Davison threw to the bag, while Lowry ran over to third. The throw from the second baseman, Van Blake, to De La Guardia, not in time. And now the runner is 90 feet from home. Next pitch is in the dirt. And Jake Davison's going to have a quick conversation with the pitcher, Tanner Clark. Wow, a lot going on there. So Connor Lowry is at third. Not sure what they ruled that, if that's a stolen base or not. Interesting play. Great athleticism by Connor Lowry getting in under the tag at third base. 3-0 the count to Johnny De La Cruz. On deck, Jake Helwig, who is 3 for 3. That pitch is low, and a 4-ball walk, bringing up Jake Helwig. 3 for 4 on the day, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. Tanner Clark taking a second, rubbing the sweat off of his eyes. The sun has set here in Chico, and it has cooled down significantly. It is now a chilly 95 degrees here at Nettleton Stadium. 2 outs, runner on the corners for the Rogues, top of the 8th inning. They're up 7-4. Helwig at the plate. First pitch swinging is fouled back. 0-1 the count. Waiting on deck for the Rogues, Josh Berman, who is 1 for 4, on the day. Helwig waits. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 7 runs on 15 hits for the Rogues. 4 runs on 9 hits for the Heat. But Rogues are looking to tack on a few more here, add on to their 3-run lead. Here's the pitch from Tanner Clark. Nope, he's going to step off, and Johnny De La Cruz ran on the fake, and the run's going to score. And De La Cruz is going to be safe. Oh, my goodness. Both players dived at the bag. Both players slow to get up. Connor Lowry comes home. So the pitcher, Tanner Clark, stepped off the mound as De La Cruz jumped towards second. Had De La Cruz dead to rights. De La Cruz on the play, running softly to second. Clark throws over to the second baseman, covering the bag. Connor Lowry comes home and scores. As soon as the pitcher Clark throws to second, De La Cruz turns around, books it back to first, and gets in safe. So 2 consecutive lucky base running plays. I'm not sure how else to really describe it. By the Rogues, another run scores. That's Connor Lowry. Jake Helwig hits one to the shortstop coming over. That is Joe Raymond to make the play for the out. But another run comes across. Connor Lowry, after singling, scoring a base, getting out of a pickle, and then scoring on a successful failed pickle. I'm not sure how you would describe that. He comes home. The run scores. I'm not sure if you would call that an earned run or not. I don't think anybody gets the RBI. The lead is 8-4 for the Rogues. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Your Rogues are on top, 8-4. A weird top of this inning I'll get to in a second. First pitch is a strike by Aaron Hutchinson. Next pitch, a great slider. Catches the outside part of the plate, 0-2. Connor Lowry singled and then scored second. He advanced to third when he was caught in a pickle, but made it safely to third. That pitch is hit softly back to Hutch. Fired it over in time to retire Jake Rodeville for the first out. So on a failed pickle attempt, or a failed converted pickle by the Heat, Lowry advanced to third.
Next up for the Heat,
De La Cruz walked.
second baseman number 6, Caleb Pembley.
And then on a pickoff move, De La Cruz was caught in between first and second. And while De La Cruz was in the pickle, Connor Lowry stole home. And then De La Cruz got back to first. So it was 2 failed converted pickles by the Heat. Very strange to say when we have a team named the Pickles in the Great West League. But that's what happened. A run comes across for the Rogues in the top of the inning. Aaron Hutchinson pitching to Caleb Van Blake. Count is 2-0. Hutch into the windup. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit foul off the third base side, out of play, near the Rogues bullpen. 8 runs on 15 hits for the Rogues, 4 runs on 9 hits for the Heat. Rogues doing most of their damage in the 6th inning, 5 runs. And that ball just inside. To Van Blake, count runs to 3-1. So for those of you scoring at home, yes, it is a stolen base by Connor Lowry, his second on the base paths in that inning. Pitch is fouled back. Count runs full, 3-2.
Best technology company on the planet, located right here in Chico.
So it was actually 3 stolen bases by Connor Lowry. He stole second on a pitch, a traditional stolen base. Next pitch is fouled back right into the Rogues dugout. Jeff Lyle, it took his hat off. Got out of the way. It seems like Jeff Lyle is always in the middle of those sharp foul balls. Jeff's okay. You see his bald head gleaming in the on-field lights. It actually hit the bat boy. Looks like he's okay, getting high fives from the Rogues dugout. 3-2 still the count to Caleb Van Blake. Here's the pitch from Hutchinson. That ball is hit to the second baseman, Hanna. Hanna fields it on a bounce over to Berman in time to get Caleb Blake for the second out of the inning. So Connor Lowry singled back in the top of the inning, scored second on a traditional stolen base play, was picked off, dead to rights, cheating off a second base, but somehow made it to third on the play. Johnny De La Cruz walked, and then he was picked off dead to rights. And while he was in a rundown, in a pickle, Connor Lowry stole home. So 3 stolen bases on one play for Connor Lowry. First pitch to Jake Davison, the catcher, is in there for a strike, 0-1. That's quite an inning for Connor Lowry. Here's the next pitch. That ball is hit well through the left side of the field past a diving Davis DeLorfis. And a 2-out single for Jake Davison. Diving, maybe a bit of a hyperbole, a lunging Davis DeLorfis. No chance to get that play, to get that ball, rather. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Joe Raymond. Raymond is 0 for 3 on the day. So Davison at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Rogues on top, 8-4. Pitches in the dirt, ball 1. $15 hits for the Rogues, 10 hits for the Heat in this one. Hutchinson ready, sets, now comes home. That ball is hit to the shortstop. Scotty Wright flips it over to Hanna to get the force at second, and the Heat are retired. We head to the final frame. Your Rogues are on top, 8-4 here at Nettleton Stadium. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. The Rogues would like to thank our friends at your local Rogue Valley Fred Meyer. The Rogues will offer specially priced family ticket packages for each Sunday home game. That's 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 fountain drinks, and 4 souvenir baseballs for just $44. That ticket package is only available at your local Rogue Valley stores. Can't even get them at the ballpark. Stop into your local Rogue Valley Fred Meyer today. We head to the final frame here at Nettleton Stadium. Your Rogues are on top 8-4. Stepping into the batter's box for the Rogues, number 7, Josh Berman, playing first base tonight. First pitch to Berman is swung and fouled back. 0-1 the count. Pitching change for the Chico Heat. Now in the game, number 21, Brian Coffey. Brian Coffey is a southpaw out of Las Vegas, Nevada, pitching for the University of New Mexico. 0-1 the count to Berman. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Oh. 0-2 to Josh Berman. 8 runs on 15 hits for your Rogues tonight. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit sharply but foul, out of play off the first base side.
That foul ball brought to you by Fast Eddie's, the best sandwich in Chico.
Josh Berman had a sacrifice fly back in the second and a single and a run scored in the 6th. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Berman. That ball is hit well to left field. That is going to fall in front of the left fielder, Garrett Kelly, for a base hit. So leadoff man aboard in the 9th inning for the Rogues. That'll bring up Scotty Wright, who is 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, a run scored, with 2 walks, a single and a run scored, excuse me. And there's going to be a pinch runner for Josh Berman. That is Braden Stutzman coming in to pinch run for Josh Berman.
Now pinch running for the Rogues, number 25, Braden Stutzman.
So Stutzman at first, pinch running for Berman. Nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. Here's the pitch to Scotty Wright. That was high, ball 1. Scotty Wright batting .231 on the year. Has 8 walks to just 6 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Called strike, well, swinging rather, excuse me. 1-1 the count. Scotty Wright now has 10 walks to 7 strikeouts, if you include tonight's game. 1-1 the count to Scotty Wright. Stutzman at first. Coffey on the mound for the Heat. Here's the pitch. That one's high. 2-1 the count. Waiting on deck is the leadoff man, Davis DeLorfis. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call with you. This is game 1 of a 3-game series. Rogues on the road against the Chico Heat will come home on Monday, June 26th. It's a mystery Monday. Here's the pitch from Coffey. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Evens the count for Scotty Wright. Keep your eyes peeled on our social media. It's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Instagram and Twitter at Medford Rogues. On Facebook at Medford Rogues Baseball. For your chance, not for your chance, find out how you can win $5 tickets and a free pack of Moose Munch presented by Harry David Field. That ball is going to be hit well to the left center field gap. Cutting it off is the left fielder, Garrett Kelly, but Scotty Wright has himself a stand-up double. Stutzman over to third, and now the runners are in scoring position for the Rogues.
Third baseman number 18, Davis DeLorfis.
So DeLorfis comes up with runners on second and third, nobody out. Chance for the Rogues to put this one to bed. That's the 17th hit for the Rogues in this game. So keep your eyes peeled on our social media. Find out how you can win $5 tickets and a pack of Moose Munch by Harry and David Field. If you haven't had Moose Munch before, it is delicious. First pitch to DeLorfis is inside for a strike. 0-1 the count. Stutzman at third, running for Josh Berman, who singled to lead off the inning. Scotty Wright with a stand-up double to left center field is at second. Here's the 0-1 to DeLorfis. That ball is hit well. It's going to be up the middle for a hit. Here comes Stutzman. At least one's going to score. Hogan putting up the stop sign. So another run comes home for the Rogues. That's the first RBI for DeLorfis this game. Stutzman coming home, running for Josh Berman. Guess it was a good call by Josh Hogan to replace Berman. Let a fresh guy, Stutzman, run around the base paths. So runners at the corners for the Rogues. Scotty Wright is at third. DeLorfis, who just drove in Braden Stutzman, is at first. And that brings up Jaden Hanna, who is 2 for 5 on the day. 2 singles and an RBI sac fly. Hanna swinging a big bat right now. Coffee looks over at first. Now comes home. That pitch is taken high, ball 1. 9-4, your score now. Your Rogues are on top. No action in the bullpen for the Rogues, so they'll probably let Aaron Hutchinson finish this one out. Here's the 1-0 to Hannah. That ball's low. 2-0, the count. Waiting on deck, the 3-hitter, Eric Yang, who is 2 for 5 on the day with an RBI. Right at third, Delorfus at first, nobody out. Top of the 9th inning. That pitch is a called strike on the outside part of the plate. A lot of disagreement between the Rogues dugout and the home plate umpire regarding called balls and strikes, but when you're on top 9-4, you can't complain too much. 2-1 the count, and that's going to be thrown over to first. Delorfus back in time, standing. Rogues score 1 in the 2nd, 5 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and so far 1 here in the 9th. Here's the pitch to Hannah. That ball is hit to left field. Coming on and making the grab is Kelly. They're going to send home Scotty Wright. He's going to make it in. No throw. Thurman Fuller, who I will have to assume is related in some way to Peyton Fuller, the Rogues pitcher, agreeing that the Moose Munch that will be offered on Mystery Monday, June 26th, is worth the price of admission alone. On top of that, as an added bonus, get to watch your Rogues take on the Lincoln Potters. So an RBI sac fly for Jaden Hannah, his 2nd of the game, brings home Scotty Wright 10-4 now. Running on the throw is Delorfus. He is going to be in there safely. Was a ball outside to Eric Yang. One the count to Eric Yang, 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Delorfus is at second. 10-4, your Rogues are on top. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit foul off the first base side, evening the count at 1-1. Yang, taking a few practice swings, now steps back into the batter's box. Here's the pitch from Brian Coffey. That ball is low, 2-1. Waiting on deck, Alex Isola playing catcher tonight. Eric Yang, also a catcher by trade. Braden Stutzman, also caught for his college team. And then Dante Gutierrez, who is out with a eye injury, whether that be a bee sting or a hit ball. You decide. That next pitch is low, 3-1. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that the Rogues have 4 of the best catchers, certainly 4 of the best hitting catchers in the Great West League. So 3-1 the count. Hitters count 2. Eric Yang. Delorfus is at second. Singled home Scotty Wright. That pitch is going to be hit softly to the shortstop, Raymond. Raymond over to first in time to get Eric Yang. No chance for Delorfus to advance. That ball was hit in front of him. So 2 down now in the 9th, and that'll bring up Alex Isola.
Catcher number 24, Alex Isola.
Alex Isola is 1 for 5 on the day, excuse me. Here's the first pitch. That ball is a called strike. 0-1. Should Isola get aboard Connor Lowry, who scored on a 3 stolen base inning? Very weird play. That was back in the top of the 8th inning. Is on deck. That next pitch to Isola is low. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Delorfus is at second. Your Rogues are on top 10-4 over the defending champion Chico Heat here at Nettleton Stadium. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2-1. Two and one, the count to Alex Isola. 2 outs, top of the ninth. That pitch is hit hard, but foul off the third base line. Manager Josh Hogan had to dance away from that one. So we'll do this again. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. That ball is hit sharply down the third base line again and foul into the Rogues dugout. Ball skips around and lands into the left field warning track, so Garrett Kelly picks it up, fires it over to Ryan Carl, hanging out in the Rogues bullpen. Reset here, 2-2 the count, 2 out, runner on second for the Rogues, top of the ninth. Alex Isola at the plate. Delorfus with a big lead at second. Here's the pitch. That's in and low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So with a full count and 2 outs here, Delorfus will be running on the pitch. Brian Coffey on the mound for the Heat. Coffey sets, comes, deals. That ball is hit sharply right at the third baseman. Great snag, a snow cone snag by the third baseman, Brandon De La Guardia, to get Alex Isola. 3 sharply hit balls by Isola down the third base line. That one stayed fair, just landed right into the mitt of Brandon De La Guardia. The Rogues strand 1, but 2 more come across. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Your Rogues are on top 10-4 over the Chico Heat. You're listening to the Medford Rogues baseball stream live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Bottom of the 9th inning, your Rogues are on top 10-4 over the Chico Heat. First pitch is a called strike by Aaron Hutchinson to the leadoff man, Tanner Tokunaga. That next ball is inside, 1-1. Tokunaga, you'll remember, made a diving play in center field to rob Jaden Hanna of extra bases, ranging to his left. It was a terrific play by Tanner Tokunaga. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Aaron Hutchinson ahead of Tokunaga. Top of the order in the 9th for the Heat, Tokunaga, De La Guardia, and Garrett Kelly. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit well. It's going to be over the Outstretched arm of Braden Stutzman, who came in. He pinch ran for Josh Berman back in the top of this inning. Would eventually score. So Tokunaga is aboard with the leadoff single to start this 9th inning. So Brandon De La Guardia coming up. De La Guardia is 2 for 4 on the day. Here's the pitch from Hutchinson. Slider in there for a strike. That was a nasty pitch. There's a ton of movement on that. I can see it from up here. 0-1 the count. Here's the next pitch from Aaron. That ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Alex Isola, sorry. Eric Yang is designated hitter tonight for the Rogues. Alex Isola getting his turn behind the plate. Tokunaga at first, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Your Rogues are on top 10-4. Here's the pitch. Tokunaga taking off. It's a called strike. That ball is going to be just off the bag. Not the most accurate throw by Isola. We've seen him make some terrific throws picking off the runner. Didn't get that one there. Tokunaga in safely with a stolen base. But 1-2 the count to Brandon De La Guardia. Aaron Hutchinson looks back, now comes home. That ball's hit foul. So we'll do this again. 1-2 the count to Brandon De La Guardia. Tokunaga on second. Garrett Kelly at first. Garrett Kelly on deck. Here's the pitch. Just outside, 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Hutchinson. That ball is hit foul off the first base side. We'll do it again. De La Guardia doing a great job of just staying alive. Here's the pitch from Hutchinson. That ball is hit to the second baseman, Hanna. Hanna makes the play over to first in time to get LaGuardia. Advancing to third on the play is Tokunaga.
Stepping up to the plate for Chico. Left fielder number
That'll bring up Garrett Kelly, the left fielder.
Kelly.
Garrett Kelly is 3 for 4 on the day with 3 RBI and a run scored. One of the newest Chico Heat, and I'm sure they're happy to have him. He's leading the team in batting average so far. Here's the pitch. Just outside, 1-0 the count. So Tokunaga at third. Here's the pitch. Slider in there for a strike, maybe a curveball. Had a ton of movement on it, is all I can say. 1-1 the count. 1 out. Bottom of the 9th inning. Rogues looking to put this one to bed. Up 10-4. Here's the pitch. That's a called strike on the outside corner again. That same slider. 1-2 to Garrett Kelly. Next pitch is hit to the third baseman. That is DeLorfis. DeLorfis over to Braden Stutzman in time for the second out of the inning. DeLorfis, great awareness on that play. Didn't rush the throw. Looked Tokunaga back at the bag, so he could not advance. And now the Rogues are 1 out away from taking game 1 here in Chico. That pitch is hit well to right field. That is going back, and gone by Marcus Wilhite. Marcus Wilhite on the first pitch he saw from Aaron Hutchinson, left-handed batter, sent that one right over Jake Helwig's head and into the field out of the ballpark. So in a 2-run home run for Marcus Wilhite. And you could tell as soon as he hit that thing, it was out of here. So the lead is now 10-6, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. First pitch is called strike to Cole Lemmel. Next pitch is high and inside, 1-1 the count. One and one to Cole Lemmel, 2 outs, nobody on, following that home run by Marcus Wilhite. That ball is going to be a flare that falls into center field. So a single for Cole Lemmel. And there's going to be some action in the Rogues bullpen. That's Will Floyd getting loose just in case. Still a 4-run lead for the Rogues. Cole Lemmel at first, Jake Rodeville, who is 1 for 4 with an RBI on the day, stepping in. Here's the pitch from Hutchinson. That one is a called strike on the outside corner. Lemmel at first, Rodeville at the dish. Your Rogues are up 10-6, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, caught nicely by Isola. Running on the play was Lemmel. On the transfer, Isola bobbled the ball and dropped it, so no throw attempt. It'll go as a stolen base. Another runner in scoring position for the Heat. But a 4-run lead for the Rogues with 2 out in the 9th. Aaron Hutchinson gets the sign from Isola, now comes home. That ball is hit softly. It's going to be a tough play for the shortstop. Delorfus throws it by the first baseman. That was Scotty Wright, excuse me. Scotty Wright barehanded that ball, threw it by Braden Stutzman, and the run scores. So 3 runs have come across here in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs. Rodeville is at first. Stepping up now is Caleb Van Blake, who is 1 for 4 on the day. Tough play for Scotty Wright at short. Barehanded it, fielded it cleanly, just threw a little off target. Would have been a close play at first regardless. Rodeville running hard out of the box. Left-hander Caleb Van Blake in for the Heat. Rodeville at first, 2 out, 3-run lead for the Rogues. Called strike, 0-1 the count. Hutchinson steps off the rubber. Van Blake checking his bat, likes what he sees, and comes back. Here's the next pitch from Hutchinson. That ball is hit. It's gonna be fair down the left field line. They are going to be held up at third and second. 2 runners in scoring position, and now the Heat have the tying run coming up to the plate. That's going to be Jake Davison, the catcher. So a 2-out double for Caleb Van Blake Things are getting interesting here. And I think we're going to have a pitching change here. Yep, Aaron Hutchinson's night is done. Coming on in relief is Will Floyd. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Medford Rogues Baseball live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Rogues are up just 3 now, and 2 on in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Heat. However, there are 2 outs. Will Floyd is the pitcher on the mound. First pitch from Floyd is in there for a strike to Jake Davison. Rogues were up 10-4 going into this inning, but 3 have come across. And the Heat will not go down. Here's the next pitch by Will Floyd. Called strike. 0-2, and the Rogues are just 1 strike away from getting out of this game with a win. Rodeville at third. Van Blake at second. Davison at the plate. Will Floyd trying to close the door. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Just outside. Hogan barking at the home plate umpire. There have been some questionable calls made by the home plate ump all night on called balls and strikes. 1-2 now to Jake Davison. Will Floyd set, comes home, swung on, and that is hit. Just foul. Down the third base line. He smoked that one, but it went foul. So we'll do this again. All right, we're ready to do this. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning, 2 on. Rogues up 3. Here's the pitch from Floyd. Swung on, hit softly down the third base line, foul. Jamie Flynn getting out of the way of that one. And we'll do this again. 10 runs on 18 hits and 1 error for the Rogues. 7 runs on 15 hits for the Heat. Count is still 1-2. Jake Davison battling. Microcosm of the entire Chico Heat team. They've put up 3 here in this 9th and have 2 more in scoring position. Isola gets into the crouch. Davison steps into the batter's box. Let's do this. 1-2 the count. Will Floyd set. Comes home. Here's the pitch. Oh, that is hit so hard and so foul down the third base side. Another foul ball. So the drama continues to build here at Nettleton Stadium. Rogues on top 10-7. But 2 runners in scoring position for the Heat. Tying run is at the plate. That's Jake Davison, who has 2 strikes. Will Floyd sets, comes home. That one is hit high and fouled. We will do this again. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning. 2 runners on for the Heat. Will Floyd of the Rogues trying to put this one away. Approaching 10:20 p.m. here at Nettleton Stadium. Will Floyd is set. Here's the windup, the pitch, and it hits him. Plunks Jake Davison. Some words being exchanged. Home plate umpire going out and warning both ball clubs. And now the tying runs are aboard. For Joe Raymond, the shortstop, who is 0 for 4 on the day. So issues are being warned to both ball clubs. Both managers are out, being talked to by the home plate umpire. Jeff Lyle's out there talking to the field ump. Field ump telling him to head back into the dugout. Both dugouts are yelling at each other. Clearly no love lost between these two teams after they met in the championship game last year.
Number 35, Justin Watari.
So they're actually going to pinch hit for Joe Raymond. That's going to be Justin Watari from Roseville, California, out of the University of New Mexico. And I think we're going to have yet another pitching change. Hogan's going to come out and pull Will Floyd. So the bases are loaded. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. We have a pitching change here at Nettleton Stadium. What a finish. You're listening to the Medford Rogues Baseball live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Bases are loaded for the Chico Heat. Jack Rodeville is at third. Caleb Van Blake is at second. Jake Davison is at first. Taylor Frost is in to close the door. Justin Watari pitch hitting for the shortstop, Joe Raymond. Watari, a left-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Low and in. Ball 1. Jake Davison, who was at first, was hit by Will Floyd. Davison and Floyd exchanged words. Both the coaches came out and exchanged words with the home plate umpire. Everyone's back now. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That one is inside. 2-0 to Justin Watari. The Rogues are on top 10-7. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, 3 have come home for the Heat, and they have the bases loaded. 2-0 to Watari. Here's the pitch. Just catches the inside part of the plate. 2-1 the count. What a finish here at Nettleton Stadium. 2-1 the count to Justin Watari. Taylor Frost gets the sign from Alex Isola. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit. It's a shallow ball. It's going to be caught by the left fielder. That is Caleb Smith on for Johnny De La Cruz. The Rogues have won the ball game. It was a tense few at-bats there at the end, but the Rogues get it done. They hold on to win 10-7 over the Chico Heat. 10 runs, 18 hits, 1 error for the Rogues. 7 runs, 15 hits, no errors for the Heat. Again, your final score, the Rogues hang on to win 10-7 over the Chico Heat. Rogues take game 1 here at Nettleton. We'll be back tomorrow at 7:05 p.m. right here on MedfordRogues.com for game 2. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call. You've been listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Thanks for sticking around with us. That was fun. We'll do it again tomorrow. Until then, I'll see ya.
Rogue Nation, thanks for listening to Medford Rogues Baseball. Listen to the Rogues all season long, live on MedfordRogues.com.